red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's a red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's an oil barge winding down the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's an oil barge winding down the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. Cleveland, city of light, city of magic. Cleveland, city of light, you're calling me. Cleveland, even now I can remember.
Hi everyone, my name is Bailee Byers, reporting live from Right Side Broadcasting Network from here in Cleveland, Ohio. We are so excited. I'm here with my coworker Max Kleiber, who's behind the camera. He's doing all the tech stuff behind the scenes today. Bear with me, it's a one-woman show essentially, so you know, we have 3 teams going everywhere today, so we're going to be bringing you these rallies live, and we're really, really excited about it, but just bear with us because we're stretched a little thin today. So I just wanted to touch on, you know, where we are, first of all. So currently we're at the IX Center here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's actually right next to the airport, so it's very convenient for the president to arrive here and then quickly depart to his next location, which is Fort Wayne, Indiana, so not too far away. The doors did open at noon, and he is scheduled to speak at around 2:30 to 3 p.m., so we're really excited to hear his remarks. Like I said, this is just his first speech in a series of 3 today. Just to give you guys a little bit of a preview, keep it right here all day because we're also going to be bringing you the Fort Wayne rally, which begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then Cape Girardeau, Missouri, where Liz will be reporting at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we're really excited. It's going to be a fun-filled day, and it's, you know, really exciting to be here. You know, we're one day away from midterms, and these rallies just continue. And you know, this actually is his 24th visit to Ohio since he began campaigning back in 2015. So the president really has honed in on this area definitely to bolster his constituency here and garner even more support than he already has. Now, just to touch on this venue a little bit more, so there's a lot of room in here. There's around 7,000 to 7,500 people that it will fit. So a lot of people are going to be packed in here today awaiting the president's remarks. By tomorrow, I found this pretty interesting, which is going to be election day, obviously. He will have held 53 rallies in 23 states and headlined 70 fundraisers. So he has wasted no time. I've heard a lot of people speak, you know, on different networks and stuff that are, you know, sources in the White House that say he's just full of energy. You know, he has a lot of will to, you know, go out there and, you know, see his supporters, and it essentially, I mean, it looks like it really fuels him and gives him even more life than he already has, which is pretty incredible. Now, his last trip to Cleveland was prior to the May primary, so it was just a few months ago, and during that trip, he actually held a fundraiser and praised the GOP tax plan, so he had a very productive trip back prior to that primary. Now, this comes just less than a month after the president held a Make America Great Again rally in Lebanon, Ohio, which I was fortunate enough to attend. And there he reiterated his full and strong endorsements for Senate candidate and Republican Renacci, and also DeWine, who's running for governor, and those are obviously both Republican GOP candidates that he has fully endorsed and backed. So we're really excited to hear from them today. I'm assuming we actually saw DeWine a little bit earlier walking around, so that was really cool to see. He was doing interviews and talking to all the people in attendance here, so that was really, really awesome to see. I'm also assuming we're going to hear from Renacci as well. We saw him at the last rally in Lebanon, so I would assume he's also going to be here. You know, we're really on the final stretch. So if you are in a state that doesn't have early voting and you haven't cast your ballot yet, then definitely get out to vote tomorrow, because it's going to be a very historic election, and you have to get out to the polls to get your voice heard. We're really excited about it. And just if you're just tuning in, I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank all of our viewers. You guys really are the backbone of this company. Your support gives us life. It keeps us going from one rally to the next. We were actually waiting in the press line, and someone came up to me and said, "I love you guys. I love what you do." And it's just moments like that that makes it all worth it. And obviously, being another one woman show today, I'm a little nervous. So it was really reassuring for him to come up to me, and his small remark just made my day. So absolutely, if you're at any of these rallies, feel free to come up and talk to us. We're super friendly, and we love getting to know you guys. And it's really just been such a rewarding experience so far. Now, if you are looking to donate and help support us, that would be awesome. We really appreciate each and every one of you. You can do that through the website, which you can go to rsbnetwork.com/donate, or you can do that through YouTube. You can do it through PayPal or Patreon. Now, Patreon, you can become a monthly donor, which is really awesome because you'll receive things like pens, pencils, mugs, and different types of merchandise. So it's a really rewarding type thing. It's an incentive. It's an incentive for you to support us, because we want you guys to know that we really do appreciate you giving to us, because it's how we broadcast all of these rallies live and travel around like we do. We definitely don't take it for granted, and we could not do it without your love and support. So again, thank you. And if you're just tuning in, my name is Bailee Byers, and we're reporting live in Cleveland, Ohio, awaiting the next MAGA rally. Let's see what local time it is. The rally, it is 1 o'clock. So it's 1 o'clock. The rally is scheduled to begin between 2:30 and 3. Now, the president, like I said, has 2 other rallies today, so I wouldn't be surprised if he stops in maybe a little bit earlier than 3, just to make sure he's out on time to make those next departures. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about why we're in Ohio and why the president has campaigned here so diligently in the past few months. Now, the Senate race really is taking center stage here in the Buckeye State. We have incumbent Sherrod Brown, who is the Democrat, running against Jim Renacci, who is the Republican. Now, Renacci campaigns a lot on immigration reform and the Second Amendment. So definitely key issues to the president that he has diligently supported throughout his term. Now, the president officially endorsed him back in April. So he's been very vocal about his support from the beginning. Now, I'm just going to read that tweet to you to recap what he said. He said, and I quote, "Renacci has worked so hard on tax reductions, illegal immigration, the border, and crime. I need Jim very badly to keep making America great again. He will be a fantastic senator for the great state of Ohio and has my full endorsement." So like I said, he's made it very clear he wants Jim Renacci on his side in the Senate. Just going off of that too a little bit, so according to 538, he actually votes with the president 94.2% of the time. So he's aligned essentially on virtually almost every issue that they voted on, which is obviously critical in keeping him as a lawmaker on Capitol Hill. Now, just to recap a little bit, he voted in line with President Trump with the 2017 tax cuts, health savings accounts, the carbon tax, immigration, the 2018 Farm Bill, and opioid legislation. So he definitely has been very diligent in supporting his legislation. Also, a recent poll indicates, according to Real Clear Politics, that Brown is up around 7.5 points. But this, I really want to reiterate. We have to take this as a grain of salt, because although these polls can be used as a reference point, they are not law, and we saw this used as a tool in the 2016 election, and it honestly kind of deterred some people from voting, because they see these polls and think, why does my vote matter? That the opponent is up so many points. Well, it absolutely matters, and we can't use that as a tool for you to not do your civic duty and right as an American citizen. So absolutely get out there and vote. It is pertinent in this election. I mean, we are at such a critical point in our nation's history, and you have to get out there and go vote red. Now, I just want to touch a little bit on Renacci in regards to the issues that he's campaigned on. So like the president, he's definitely a businessman, and he has an entrepreneurship mentality. So they both kind of resonate with each other on that level. Now he also supports bolstering resources for the military and enhancing national security. So he's a big supporter of our nation's military, which is obviously very critical in a time like this, especially now that we have caravans coming up through Central America and Latin America that are demanding entry into our nation's borders. He also campaigns on healthcare reform. So he wants to cut costs and increase accessibility for all Americans. So this is really important because this is something that the Democrats and the GOP have honed in on, and definitely is something that's on the ballot come tomorrow. He also pushes a lot for education reform. So he wants to enhance quality for younger generations and make sure they have the resources and the technology that's necessary for them to achieve their goals. So it's really important. He's essentially investing in the younger generations because he knows that they'll be the leaders of this great nation one day. So it's really important that we invest in them and we take care of them as the younger generation. Now, he also campaigns a lot on job creation and economic growth. He introduced several bills to help promote this. And this kind of aligns with the jobs report that was released on Friday, which highlighted all of the economic progression that was achieved back in the month of October. So we had 250,000 jobs added. The Consumer Confidence Index is at an 18-year high, and we have record low unemployment all across the board. And Hispanic unemployment actually hit a new low from the previous low that it had already hit. So we really are achieving leaps and bounds ahead of what we had previously been achieving, and it's a great day to be in the American market. Now, he also campaigns a lot on tax cuts. So this is obviously something that the president has pressed upon quite a bit, and also balancing the budget. And this is really important because within fiscal year 2019, we will be in $21.6 trillion of debt. So his goal is to eradicate some of that and appropriate different amounts differently. So, we're able to fund our military adequately, and we're able to, put the funds where they're needed, so to speak. He also, I briefly mentioned this, but tax reform in general. So Renacci is actually a certified public accountant and business owner. He's also on the Ways and Means Committee on Capitol Hill. So he's a big proponent of Americans bringing home more money in their paychecks. So he's definitely a fighter for the average American, absolutely. And like I said, I'm sure we'll hear from him today, so it's just a matter of time. I know in Lebanon we saw him walking around, so I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a guest appearance a little bit early. I've been keeping my eyes peeled, but haven't seen him quite yet. Now, one more thing I just wanted to touch on with Renacci. He's a big proponent, he is a big promoter of, protecting our nation's veterans. He wants to make sure those who risk their lives for ensuring American freedom and values are well taken care of, which is really, really important, and something that he's actually done a lot with that a lot of people don't know about. He was actually the sponsor of Vulnerable Veterans Housing Reform Act. So essentially, this takes care of severely wounded warriors who come home from the front lines of combat, and essentially it ensures them access to housing despite heightening and growing healthcare costs associated with those injuries. So essentially just making sure these wounded warriors are able to, have access to proper housing when they come home from war, which is obviously, something pretty awesome. Also, he introduced another piece of legislation to enhance education and career resources to former service members. Now, this is really important because, when we have service members getting out of the military, it is a transition, and it's something that's not talked about a lot, to go from being enlisted or an officer to go from that to being a civilian. And it's a huge transition, and some people, adjust better than others. So it's just, making sure that they have the tools to make that transition easier and better for all those who have served. And there's a slew of other bills that he's backed in the past to show his commitment to our nation's veterans. Now, I'm actually going to check the chat right now. If you're just tuning in, we're in Cleveland, Ohio. We're we will be broadcasting the first MAGA rally of the day, which is here at the IX Center. We're really excited to have you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've donated, I just want to thank you so much. You guys really are the backbone of this company. I can't tell you enough how, rewarding it's been to be a part of such a wonderful organization, and we just can't do it without our viewers. You really are the end-all be-all for us, and we love you guys, so we just want you to know how much we appreciate you. I also want to explain a little bit about the donating. So when you donate, you might be thinking, midterms are tomorrow, where's this money going now? Well, we're at such a critical point come the 2020 campaign, come Wednesday, and it's really kind of already happened. we're going to have candidates start campaigning for a 2020 presidential on the horizon. We want to make sure we have the resources, and we want to make sure we start preparing so that we can go to all of these events and bring you guys everything live. We want to keep doing what we do because it's such a wonderful privilege and blessing to be able to do this. So like I said, if you're just tuning in, thank you. And if you would like to donate, you can do that via our website at rsbnetwork.com/donate. You can also do that. Sorry guys, I'm just pulling up the chat, bear with me. You can also do that via PayPal, Patreon, or YouTube, or you can do it by mail, which I'm sure our lovely moderators will put that address in the chat. Thank you so much, you guys. You're wonderful. And I don't say this enough, but thank you to our moderators as well for always keeping our chat family friendly and clean. We love you guys. You know, you guys really do work overtime to make sure that everything is in order. So we appreciate that. I'm just looking through the chat right now. Let's see. When does it? Someone asked when it starts. So it is currently 1:11 local time. He's scheduled to speak between 2:30 and 3. Like I said, he has 2 more speeches after this speech today. He's going hard for the last day before midterms, so I wouldn't be surprised if he arrives a little bit earlier and then leaves, not quickly, but a little bit more quickly than he normally does. Maybe a 45-minute hour speech, give or take. So like I said, we're about an hour and a half out, give or take, of hearing his remarks. So we're really, really excited about that. If you guys have any questions, definitely drop that in the chat right now. I'm just looking through it right now. Everyone seems really excited. As you can see, people have filed in. This venue holds about 7,500 people, give or take a couple hundred, I would say. So it's actually pretty interesting. So there's a section of this building that is blocked off for this event. But if you go out towards like concessions, there's like restrooms and there's all sorts of places that you can get food and drinks. So it's a huge venue, but the area that's blocked off holds about 7,500 people. So we're really, really excited about this. Like I said, I'm just looking through the chat right now. Swoosh said, hi, Bailee. Hi, Swoosh. Thank you to all of our loyal viewers that, you know, always tune in and support us. And thank you guys if you're new for tuning in. You know, we hope you keep it right here for all of the rallies. I can't tell you enough how much we enjoy it. We really do love our job. Like I said, we've divvied up into 3 different crews. So in the past week, we've all been going to different places. So it's been a crazy adventure. It's very sad and bittersweet that it's ending tomorrow. But, you know, just remember to get out there and vote. That's why we're doing this. We're trying to, you know, bring you these rallies so you can watch them in full, since no other network or most other networks do not air them in full. And we just want to make sure you guys have that access. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm just, again, looking through the chat right now, trying to keep up with it. Oh, Brexit Monger said this lady is a bro. Thank you so much. Like I said, one woman show again, so I'm a little nervous, but just going with it. You know, it's going to be a great day. It was really exciting. So just a little fun fact. So today was the first day I got to get some campaign gear, which was really, really exciting. So I got like 5 t-shirts, and then I went back and got another t-shirt, and the guy over there was like, wow, and you're a reporter? I was like, yes, I'm one of the few. And he was like so delighted that I was over there grabbing all my President Trump gear. So, you know, it was a really, really exciting time. Anyway, so I'm just going to go over a little bit now since we have lots of time. I'm going to go over the gubernatorial race here in the Buckeye State. So now Ohio Attorney General, the current Attorney General is Mike DeWine. He's the one that I said was kind of perusing around earlier. And he is running against, in that race, he's the Republican, and he's running against former Consumer Financial Protection Bureau Director, that was a mouthful, Richard Cordray, and he's the Democrat here in Ohio. So we're really, really excited about this race. So whoever wins this race will replace the current governor, who is the Republican John Kasich, and he is prevented by term limits from running again. So it's, you know, been a race to watch, to say the least. The GOP has held this gubernatorial seat in won the gubernatorial race in the last 7 out of 10 elections here. So it definitely has trailed ahead of the Democrats, but it's not a reason to not get out there and go vote. You have to go vote come Tuesday, vote GOP, vote red. We have to keep these lawmakers in office. Now, this is deemed a toss-up, but it is projected to be extremely close. So it's definitely something, like I said, to keep your eye on. The president has campaigned a lot throughout this midterm election cycle for gubernatorial candidates and Senate candidates specifically, not so much for the House. polls, I hate using this as a total reference point, but polls do say if we, have any chance at keeping the upper or lower chamber, it will be the upper chamber. But like I said, only use that as a reference point. Now, also, according to a recent Real Clear Politics poll, Cordray is up 4.7 points above DeWine. But like I said, not a reason to, skip out on your civic duty and your civic right. So definitely get out there and vote for DeWine. He seems like a pretty incredible guy from the research that I've been doing. He wants to further the GOP agenda in DC on the Hill. He also is for the state of Ohio. He wants to, look out for Ohioans. He also, a little bit about him, he went to Miami University for his undergraduate degree. Then he went to law school at Ohio Northern University. And then after that, he became a county prosecutor. So he's very well versed in politics, the law. He knows what he's doing. He seems like a pretty incredible guy. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about where he stands on the issues. So he supports the president's economic progression and increased access to necessary job training. So this is actually something that the first daughter, Ivanka Trump, has campaigned a lot on, increasing STEM technology and job training so that our American workers have the resources they need to succeed in the workforce. So it's pretty critical moving forward. He also wants to expand research and investment and decrease government regulation. So all things that the president stands for and backs himself. He also campaigns a lot on combating the opioid epidemic, which is pretty prevalent here, especially in the state of Ohio. So definitely he's looking out for the everyday American and really wants to make sure that they have access to this health care and they can get out of this sort of epidemic. Now, last year, he actually introduced a comprehensive plan to help Ohio eradicate the growing job problem. So this, kind of goes back to he's all about job creation. He is really aligned with the president's economic policies, which is really, something that they both are aligned together on. Also, he's also one of the first attorney generals to take legal action against drug manufacturers who were suggesting that they were not transparent, he suggested they weren't transparent about the drugs that they were selling, their addictive qualities. So he's kind of one of the first attorney generals to really take action against these prescription drug manufacturers, which is pretty critical, obviously, in regards to the growing opioid epidemic. He also stands for education reform. He wants to increase technology, like I mentioned, access in schools, making sure that post-secondary education is more affordable. So he wants to make sure that all students, can afford to go to school, and he's all about making sure that those programs are readily available. Also, just going through my notes here. Yeah, like you can see now, we're panning the crowds a little bit. You can see everyone filing in. There's more and more people filing in as we go. I saw quite a few people, everyone has signs. They're really excited. The energy in this room is pretty incredible today, as it always is. But we have, let's see. Yeah, it's getting really full. I would say it's probably mostly full, give or take, but I'm sure more and more people will file in as time goes on. It is, I'm trying to see what local time it is. It's 1:15 local time, so we're expecting the president in about an hour and a half or so, give or take a few minutes. Now, just to recap what I was talking about, expand upon. Now, Mike DeWine also stands for healthcare reform, which is something a lot of people have been arguing is on the ballot come midterm elections tomorrow. Now, he wants to increase access while cutting costs, like his counterpart, Jim Renacci. So this is, really important come midterm elections. He also wants to increase investment in the state of Ohio, which is really, really important in order to, incentivize businesses to come here and expand their private sector, if you will. Now, in regards to schooling, he wants to protect schools. He wants to make sure students and teachers are safe in their learning environment, which is obviously something, that's been on the radar, if you will, lately. He also is a staunch supporter of law enforcement, which is really, really awesome. He says, according to his website, he's planning on asking for safety vests for Ohio peace officers, not police, but peace officers who could be subject to gunfire. So he's a staunch proponent of ensuring that our law enforcement also has the resources and tools needed in order to be successful in their jobs. He also wants to decrease wait times for DNA analysis, which I found pretty interesting, used during criminal investigations. So he's really he wants to expedite the process while investigating certain all crimes, which is also obviously really good. He also wants to this I found interesting because I actually saw an ad here, a couple of them, about this specific fact. So he actually tested thousands of rape kits when he came into office in 2011. Now, those thousands of rape kits were never tested by his predecessor. So he came in and he said, why are these all on the shelves? So he took all of them and tested all of them. So, he really is a true hero for women and, victims here in Ohio of sexual assault, which is also pretty fantastic. It definitely shows his commitment to victims, throughout the state. I also want to take this opportunity, if you're just tuning in, my name is Bailee Byers. We're reporting live from Cleveland, Ohio with the Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're so excited to have you. Thank you if you're a loyal viewer. Thank you for joining us again. If you're a new viewer, we're so excited to have you. Like I said, we're at the IX Center. This venue holds about 7,500 people, give or take a couple hundred. So we're really excited to be here. Like I said, it's around 1:15 local time. The president is scheduled to speak in around an hour and a half or so, give or take a few minutes. We actually have 2 other rallies today, so we've divvied up into 3 different crews. Those other rallies are in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I believe, I forget what local time that is. It's in a few hours. And then at 9 p.m., we have a crew in Cape Girardeau, and that's going to be Liz and our other cameraman, and we're super excited about that. That's going to be at 9 p.m. in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, where he'll be campaigning for Josh Hawley. So we're really, really excited about that. So again, if you'd like to donate, just know we really appreciate every single dollar that y'all give us. It really is the backbone of our company, as your love and support and gets us to each and every one of these rallies. If you're interested in donating, you can do that through rsbnetwork.com/donate, or you can do it through YouTube or Patreon. You can do it through PayPal. You can do it through the mail, which our moderators will put that the address in the chat. Thank you guys so much. And just know that every dollar is going to bolster our resources for 2020 campaigning. We're very, very excited about it. And it really is right around the corner. It might seem like it's far away, but it really is. Come Wednesday, it's going to be the talk of the town, if you will. So we're really, really excited to be here and really, really excited to be doing what we're doing. Like I said, everyone's piling in. In about an hour and a half or so, we'll hear the president speak for his next Make America Great Again rally. And okay, yeah, so with that, I'm going to send it back to headquarters. I'm Bailee Byers reporting live with Right Side Broadcasting. Joe, back to you.
There's no surf in Cleveland, USA. If you wanna see tinsel and stars, just go to LA.
I'll soon be leaving. I'm going to Polka Town. It was there I met a girl one evening. Now I'm Ohio bound. Our wedding bells will ring out in Cleveland. That's the place where I intend to settle down and listen to the rhythm of the polka in Cleveland, the polka town. That's the place where I intend to settle down and listen to the rhythm of the polka in Cleveland, the polka town.
There's a red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's a red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's an oil barge winding down the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's an oil barge winding down the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. Cleveland, city of light, city of magic. Cleveland, city of light, you're calling me. Cleveland, even now I can remember, 'cause the Cuyahoga River goes smoking through my dreams. Burn on, big river, burn on.
A lot of people then said to me, Faber, what are you doing supporting Trump? I told them, President Trump will win and is going to make Ohio and America great again by cutting taxes, by slashing regulations, creating jobs, and appointing conservative judges. And hasn't he done exactly that? And that's exactly what tomorrow's election is all about, preserving. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not tired of winning yet. Are you? You see, America is moving in the right direction, And Ohio is moving in the right direction, and we need to keep moving forward. By the way, let me take just a moment to recognize our hardworking Republican Party Chair, Jane Timken. She has done a great job. Where is Jane? She's over here. Give her a shout out. And let me also tell you a little secret about Jane. It's her birthday today, so let's give her a great birthday present by winning tomorrow. You see, the Democrats want to take us back to the dark days that they were last in office, when Ohio lost 400,000 jobs. We had a whopping 89 cents in our state savings account, the rainy day fund. You could take the entire state savings account, go to McDonald's, and still not get a small cup of coffee. Fast forward, with conservative leadership of cutting taxes, doing regulatory reform, improving education, and rejecting liberal policies, we have now grown more than 600,000 private sector jobs. Let's just be clear about that. That's 600,000 Ohio families who now have hope for a brighter future. We cannot go back to the Cordray Strickland days of despair and desperation. Now, my liberal lobbyist opponent in tomorrow's election is being funded by the liberal elites like George Soros, Eric Holder, Barack Obama, and Tom Steyer. Do you guys know about Tom Steyer? He's the guy trying to get President Trump impeached and is running commercials on his own about it. Now, why would these coastal liberals care about who the next Ohio state auditor is? Well, I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that the Ohio auditor serves on something called the Redistricting Commission that will have a role in drawing legislative and congressional districts. They know my opponent will draw districts for Democrats to make Nancy Pelosi Speaker of the House. Do Ohioans want Nancy Pelosi Speaker of the House? You see, they don't care about Ohioans. They care about Nancy and her liberal progressive agenda. Heck, my opponent was even Nancy Pelosi's favorite freshman when he was in Congress. He voted with her 93% of the time. And tomorrow we can reject all of that. Now, as I look around at this great crowd, there's some 10,000 of you here today that recognize that Republican leadership works and President Trump is moving America forward in the right direction. So I need your help. I need your help. How many of you in here have already voted? Great. Now, those of you who did not raise your hand, please make sure you vote tomorrow. Can I count on you to do that? Can I count on you to find at least 2 friends, 2 family members, 2 neighbors, 2 people who go to your church and get them out to vote too, please? And when you do, please ask them, as my wife says, do Ohio a favor and vote for Keith Faber. The other thing I need you to do is support the entire Republican slate. We got Mike DeWine and John Husted running for governor. We got Dave Yost running for Attorney General. We got Frank LaRose running for Secretary of State, who you're going to meet in just a second. And we've got my good friend Robert Sprague running for Treasurer. And there are 2 other Republicans running who won't have an R after their name. There are candidates for the Ohio Supreme Court, Craig Baldwin and Mary DeGennaro. By the way to remember who to vote for the Ohio Supreme Court, this time just vote alphabetically and you'll get it right. We have been crisscrossing all of Ohio to make sure that you know how important this election is. These candidates will fight for Ohio every day. And I have a request. If you'll work for us, if you'll stay strong, if you'll go vote, if you'll get your friends and neighbors to vote over the next 48 hours, we'll work for you for the next 4 years. God bless you. I'm Keith Faber, running to be your state auditor. Together, we can make Ohio great again. Now, Ohio's motto is, with God, all things are possible. And I believe strongly in prayer. I've prayed, and I want you to pray for our opponents. I don't want you to pray for them to win. I want you to pray for our opponents. I want you to give them strength and protection and good health. That's what we do. You see, as Abraham Lincoln said, we seek not to have God on our side, but we pray that we're on God's side. And as we do at Republican events, it's time for us to kick this rally off in the best possible way with a prayer. Help me welcome up one of President Trump's earliest supporters and Cleveland's very own Pastor Darrell Scott to lead us in prayer.
God bless everybody. Let's all bow our heads and close our eyes in reverence to the Lord. Oh Lord God, we thank you for the opportunity and the privilege of gathering together in lawful, peaceful assembly under the banner of freedom and liberty that our great country provides. Now we pray together in corporate unity as American citizens that you protect this nation from all enemies, both foreign and domestic, that you preserve our union from every evil work, that you open heaven's windows and pour out blessings upon our country. Lord God, we pray for the duly elected leader of our great nation, President Donald J. Trump, whom you have seen fit to raise up in these tumultuous times to serve this country. Let your hand be upon him. Guide his decision making. Give him the wisdom to lead the American public. Let no weapon that is formed against him be able to prosper. We pray, God, that you bless America, the land of the free, that you bless America, the home of the brave, that you bless this great country as only you can. And in spite of secularism and liberalism and every element in our society that tries to say otherwise, we decree and we declare and we announce and we proclaim that we are one nation under God, that we are indivisible, and that we decree liberty and justice for all Americans, regardless of race, creed, and color. We pray, oh Lord, that you heal the divide that insidious forces are trying to create in this nation, that you bring us together in unity, and that your will be done by this administration and your will be done in this upcoming election. Lord God, we know that there are only two sides, the right side and the wrong side, your side and the enemy's side. We pray that your side prevail in this great country, in this great upcoming election, that you preserve our union. And we give you glory, we give you honor, and we give you praise in Jesus' mighty name. Let those in agreement with this prayer shout amen. Amen. And everybody shout, God bless America.
We are a party that kneels in prayer but stands for our flag. To lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, I'm proud to introduce a man that protects us overseas as a Green Beret. He is the same person who will protect our elections for the next 4 years, our next Secretary of State, Army Ranger Green Beret, and my friend, Frank LaRose.
Wow, Pastor Scott, that was awesome. Thank you. My name's Frank LaRose. I'm running to serve you as your next Secretary of State to safeguard our elections and ensure every eligible Ohioan can cast their ballot and know that it's secure. Here in the state of Ohio, here in the city of Cleveland, here in the heartland, men and women who are able, stand to their feet for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let me see a show of hands for my fellow veterans. Who here served in the armed forces? Round of applause for them. My fellow veterans, if anyone around you has trouble with flag etiquette, you will help them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please place your hand over your heart, remove your hats, and face the flag as we pledge our allegiance to this great country and honor all those who have served to protect it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My name's Frank LaRose. I'm running to serve as your next Secretary of State. God bless.
Please welcome Tampa Murphy to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Wasn't that great? Let's give her another round of applause. It is truly my honor to welcome our next speaker. He's my friend. He's a congressman for Ohio's 7th Congressional District, farmer, father, and all-around great American, and an early supporter of Donald Trump. Let me welcome to the stage Congressman Bob Gibbs.
There's no better place to be than at a Trump rally, right? Greatest nation on the earth, and I'm so proud to be an American. You know, this election, this midterm election, it's all about results versus resistance. And the other side, they're in denial. We have the strongest economy probably in my lifetime. We have more jobs out there than we have job seekers. We have an economy that's growing over 4% gross GDP. You know, President Obama talked about when it was 1%, 1.5%, that was the new norm, that we have to find a magic wand to make a difference. Well, President Trump and the Republicans in Congress found that wand. You know what that wand was? That wand was common sense regulatory reform and tax cuts. We're putting more money in everybody's pockets because I got to tell you, business people, individuals, families know how to use their dollars better than the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. Well, you know, its economy is just flat out soaring. And it's because of the Republicans in Congress and the leadership of President Donald Trump. And we're going to see more of that. But we got to make sure we get the job done. And that's why you're all here today. And thank you for coming out. It's great to have 10,000 plus people here. A couple other accomplishments. We're building up our military again after the Obama sequester. We're making sure that our troops have the equipment and the resources so when they have to go to battle, they can come home safely after they win. We're also taking care of our veterans. We passed a couple major pieces of legislation, and I'm sure there's lots of good people in the Veterans Administration doing a good job, but the few bad apples that aren't doing their job, they're fired now. They're out of here. Now, what happens if the Democrats, well, first of all, it's not going to happen. We're going to win tomorrow, right? But what do the Democrats want to do? You've heard Nancy Pelosi, what they want to do. They want to repeal the tax cuts. They want to raise taxes. They want an open border. They want to support sanctuary cities. They want to abolish ICE. And as President Trump says, all they want then is crime, because that's what we'll have, more crime. So we got to make sure we get this job done. We cannot let them have their ways. Another thing, I never thought in my lifetime I'd ever be talking about capitalism and socialism. We got people, members in Congress on the other side of the aisle. We've got people running for Congress that are advocating for socialism. You know what socialism is? Socialism is taking from the haves and giving it to the have-nots, and in a short time while, there's no more to take. That's why socialism has failed everywhere it's been tried. Capitalism encourages entrepreneurship, innovation, competition, and opportunities. That's why this country is so great, because people can raise up and chase their dreams. It's because of our policies, not the failed policies of the Obama administration. We don't want to go back to Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer policies. Now, what else do Democrats want to do? We know what they want to do. They want to go back to the old ways. But you know what they're doing in this election? This is unprecedented what's happened in this election. They're running a scam. You know what the scam is? They got the Hollywood elite, the West Coast and the East Coast funding these races in the heartland because they want to put their liberal agenda in the heartland of America right here in Ohio. We can't let that happen. Just think about that. Money's been pouring in on the other side, and it's from the Hollywood elite, mostly from Los Angeles, mostly California. They're trying to buy these seats and put their liberal socialist agenda on middle America and America. So we have to stand tall. We have to get out and vote tomorrow, get everybody out to vote, and send them a strong message that we're not going to let that happen. This is America, home of the free and the brave. And socialism is not welcome here. So that's what we got to do. We got to make sure it gets done. We got to shut them down at the ballot box. We're going to do that. So, Keith Faber introduced me. I want to say something about Keith. Keith's a great friend. I served with him in the Ohio Senate and the Ohio House. He's a leader. He'll make a great state auditor. So make sure you get out and vote for all our Republican candidates, because voting for any Democrat right now is voting to go for bigger government, higher taxes, more regulations, slow, regressive economy, less opportunities. We speak for more opportunities. And you know what? We're at a fork in the road in this midterm election. In our 242-year history, we've had the free market capitalist system and the constitutional republic. They want to go down that fork of socialism, more government, higher taxes, less freedoms. Let's make sure we go the right fork in the road and put our path on the road where our kids and our grandkids will have the opportunities that we had. So I want to make sure you stand up for America. We're going to win tomorrow. And we're going to win again in 2020 under the leadership of President Donald J. Trump. God bless all of you, and God bless the United States of America. It's my privilege to introduce our next speaker, our next congressman from Ohio's 16th Congressional District. His name is Anthony Gonzalez. You might have heard of him, right? OH! Go Bucks! Of course, he played for the Buckeyes. We know that. And he's done super, small businessman. And he's going to be a great representative of the 16th District in Congress, working with myself and other Republican conservative members, and working with President Trump, because we have a lot more work to do. We're going to make sure we build that wall. We're going to make sure we secure the border. We're going to fix our visa immigration system. And we're rebuilding the military, as I said. So we're on the right track. America is stronger. America is respected around the world. Our enemies, our adversaries are talking to us. They're scared to death of us because President Trump doesn't back down. He lets them know that we are America and we stand for freedom and opportunity for all Americans. So let's give a big Buckeye welcome, Cleveland welcome to your next Congressman of the 16th District, Anthony Gonzalez.
I have to start with one thing. OH! OH! Told my wife I wouldn't do that. Sorry, love. Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for being here to support our great candidates. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. My name is Anthony Gonzalez, and I am running to be your next congressman in the 16th District. Now, I stand before you the proud son of two wonderful parents. My mother, a lifelong teacher, daughter of a World War II veteran. My father, liver of the American dream, immigrated to this country from Cuba, escaped the Castro regime, and built a business of his own on the west side of Cleveland. And his family came here for two reasons. Number one, with a belief that the United States Constitution is the greatest political document in human history. And two, that the United States is the land of opportunity. The American dream can be seized right here in Northeast Ohio. I was lucky enough to live my dream right here. Graduated from St. Ignatius before going off to The Ohio State University. Was an academic All-American and a first-round draft pick. After 5 years in the NFL, it was off to Stanford University, where I earned my MBA and ran a business of my own. And I came here. I came home to serve the community that has meant so much to me and my family. See, I believe our best days are ahead of us, but we do still have our challenges. We have a healthcare system where one bad diagnosis can bankrupt a family. We have an education and workforce development system that still isn't providing the tools that all our children need for the 21st century. And we have trade deals that have asked Northeast Ohio to pay the price while we've watched our jobs move overseas to China. But above all, our biggest challenge in this current moment is a culture that continues to divide, an environment that continues to pull us apart, threatening the very fabric of our nation. And if there is one thing that I have learned in the business world, in politics, and in football, it's that the best way forward is as one. The only path forward is as one group moving towards success in unison. And if we are to seize and capture the greatness that we aspire to as a nation, as every generation has before us, if we are to live the American dreams of our making with a small and accountable government, a strong military, and the tools that all of our children need to thrive, then we must heal our divides and embrace the enduring values that unite us as Americans. One city, one state, one country. This is our country. This is our land. And so tomorrow, when you wake up, we have an opportunity for our voices to be heard once again. And we need every single person in this room. Grab a neighbor, grab a friend, get on social media, whatever you have to do. We need you at the polls. We need you to vote. We need your energy, your passion, everything you've done. We need one more day, and then we can celebrate again. Thank you. My name is Anthony Gonzalez. God bless you all. God bless the great state of Ohio, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Thank you.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. We are here in Cleveland, Ohio, and we're very excited about it. The mic's really close to my face, but that's fine. As long as
Cleveland, city of light, city of magic. Cleveland, city of light, you're calling me. Cleveland, even now I can remember, 'cause the Cuyahoga River goes smoking through my dreams. Burn on, big river, burn on. Burn on, big river, burn on. Now the Lord can make you tumble, the Lord can make you turn, the Lord can make you overflow, but the Lord can make you burn. Burn on, big river, burn on. Burn on, big river, burn on.
Get the best coverage of these President Trump rallies the day before the midterm. That's right, we're on Elections Eve. I can't believe we finally made it. Feels like not too long ago that I was in Tampa for my first rally discussing with Liz, Alyssa, Tom for the very first time and about how many rallies we were expecting before the midterms, and we are finally here. There have been a lot of rallies before then. We've traveled to several states, including Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, Tennessee, West Virginia, many, many more. Ohio as well, Missouri a couple times, Mississippi in there, many of them multiple times. And, it's been a crazy cycle. It really has. But we're really looking forward to casting our votes tomorrow. We want to thank you guys so much for the support you guys have shown us through this election cycle, through these midterms. We really appreciate it. We couldn't be here without you guys. We couldn't be here giving you President Trump's rallies day in and day out every week. I know we've missed one rally, and obviously not ideal for us, but Montana is just really hard to pull off. So we appreciate you guys just really sticking with us through all the technical difficulties we've had over the couple months, and we really appreciate your continued support and all of the sponsors that we've had. So thank you guys so much. We love you guys so much. The reason we're going to be asking for donations over the next today, this rally and the later too, are because we absolutely depend on those donations, and we're looking towards 2020 just like President Trump is, just like the Democrats are, many senators and congressmen are as well. And so 2020 elections are going to be just as crazy as the midterms, just as crazy as 2016. We want to make sure we build up that war chest. We want to make sure that we can go to as many of President Trump's campaign events as possible so that you guys can see the president day in and day out like you did this fall and this summer. So that's why we continue to ask, if you're questioning, hey, now they're just trying to make profit, or now they're just getting greedy. We seriously are trying to plan and work out strategy for as many rallies as possible in 2020. Obviously very important. We were talking about how important the 2018 midterms are. 2020 is obviously important on a whole nother level. So we really appreciate all the support that you guys have given us, and that's why we'll be asking. I just wanted to cover that. Also wanted to say thank you to all of our sponsors, all the people we teamed up with to help get President Trump's rallies out to as many people as possible. Thank you to Diamond and Silk for putting our stream on your platforms. We really appreciate that. We love our partnership with you guys, so thank you guys so much. I want to say thank you to r/the Donalds. We know that we have been a popular stream on there, and we are very appreciative of that. And also thank you to Breitbart for putting up our stream on your site as well. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. I'm going to hand the mic off to our reporter Bailee Byers in just one moment. I know you guys like to hear from her a lot more. So really quick, before I do hand it off to Bailee, we have Joe Seals, our CEO, at headquarters right now, wanting to talk to you guys, so stand by. Thank you, guys.
Okay, everybody, welcome to Cleveland. We are live in Cleveland today for the President Trump rally. It's very, very exciting for us to be able to be a part of this on the last day before the midterms. We have worked so hard to get to this point. All of us are sleep deprived. My crew has been traveling for months now, and many of them have not been home, but maybe 1 or 2 days in the past month and a half, and it's taken its toll on a lot of us. I know I haven't seen my family in a long time, really, because of the fact that we have been devoting all of our time and attention to this. And just to touch on what Max said, for those that think that we are making a killing off of this, we barely make money at all. We don't have another source of revenue. YouTube ad revenue is completely gone, almost. We're lucky to make a couple $100 off actual ads revenue on most of our videos, and it's really difficult. So that's why we do it, and that's the only reason. I would encourage you to imagine a pretend Trump rally, let's say 4 days from now in Bozeman, Montana, from wherever you are right now in the country, unless you're in Montana. Go on Expedia and try to book 5 or 3 or 4 or 5 tickets from wherever you are to Bozeman, and look at the price of those tickets, and also try to get, hotel rooms nearby, rental cars nearby, and then imagine the very next day you have to be in Erie, Pennsylvania, and try to book flights from Erie, Pennsylvania to Bozeman, from Bozeman, Montana. The costs are astronomical for traveling. And that doesn't even count the fees that we pay for our live streaming equipment. You know, we don't have satellite trucks here at Right Side, which is why sometimes in the past we have trouble getting a stream out. You never know until you actually go and try. You ever been to an event this big? Try using your cell phones. Sometimes, depending on the area, today's actually decent. Cleveland has a really good cell network. It's impossible to get a stream out unless you have a satellite truck. Like last night in Chattanooga, the roof there was blocking the entire, the cell signal couldn't get in. There was 0 in the entire building. We have purchased the best equipment. We spent $60,000 on 2 of these, and we're renting another one currently to be able to get live streams out to you using the best possible equipment that is not a satellite truck. It's difficult, all right, and it's expensive, and we really are lucky to break even most rallies. It's just a fact of life. We've lived with it for a long time. None of us are making a profit. You know, anything that we make is kept for 2020, etc. We have to upgrade our equipment somehow. And every now and then when we have a good rally, we use it to purchase new equipment. We bought a new camera. This is one of our old ones we're using today. The main one will be in Cape Girardeau, Missouri tonight. So with a limited budget, you have to just sort of do the best you can. So that's why we have to ask for the donations. And it's not just about travel. Obviously, we're thinking long term. You know, we are thinking 2020. We're also thinking how do we expand beyond just rallies? You know, we're looking at production, shows, going to CPAC, you know, going to various conservative events that we have been to. Some of them we've been to in the past, and some of them we haven't. So that's the kind of things that we're looking at here at Right Side down the road between now and 2020. So that's why, if you want to, if you wonder why we have to ask, that's why we have to ask. We could sell out, and we could take big, you know, investors on and let them decide, you know, this is what we should do. But we chose not to do that because we followed President Trump's lead when he didn't take big investor donations from big investors back in 2016. So that's where we're at. And there's Bailee Byers, who's doing such a great job. And plus, oh, I forgot to mention, I have to pay these guys because they do not work for free. And they deserve a lot more than I'm able to pay them. So anyway, so back to the story. We have 2 more rallies today in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and also Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I have my blue team standing by in Cape Girardeau. They're actually en route right now. Where Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity will both be in attendance there tonight in Cape Girardeau. And then we are going to be... Now, here's where the tricky part comes in. I told you this was going to get complicated with the travel. 3 crews trying to make it from point A to point B. The crew that did Chattanooga last night has had the worst luck of all of my crews. They got the stream out for you from Huntington, West Virginia, but only in the nick of time, so we were able to show you the full speech of the president. Last night was a logistical disaster in Chattanooga, and they were not able to get it up live, although we did upload some video afterwards. Wasn't the best, but we'll take it. And then so their flight was delayed heading to Fort Wayne today. It's actually just one cameraman heading to Fort Wayne. I have no reporters going to Fort Wayne tonight because they are headed back here to the studio with me to help me with tomorrow's election night special. So tomorrow night we'll be live in some capacity, doing the best we can with these election results as they come in, because this is what we've been working for so hard. So tune in tomorrow night. We'll get details on that later on today as far as the start time and all those things. We're working on a set right now, and so hope you enjoy it. So we'll go back to Bailee here in just a minute. Back to Fort Wayne. We're going to do everything we can to get in that building in time for the speech. So can't help the flight delays. That's just life. So we're going to do our best. But we're going to be in Cape Girardeau. We're here in Missouri right now. So we're going to go back to Bailee here in just a second. Everybody stand by. Be right back. Also, just real quick, wanted to mention that our website was down all day yesterday, and that's another issue we've been running into, is our website being overran with the traffic. And not sure whether it's deliberate attacks or what the case is, and the podium going on the seal there, which means the next speaker will be the President of the United States. So that'll be fun here coming up soon. We're hearing he might speak a little early, actually, because he's got these next two rallies after this to go. But as I was saying, so our website is now back. I was up all night till like 3 a.m. figuring it out, and I think I got it figured out. So if it goes down again, I am sorry. I will fix it.
Enough how much it means to us and this company in general. You guys truly are the reason for this. We love bringing you the live coverage from these rallies. It's absolutely amazing, and we can't do it without your help and your love and support. And I just want to say thank you again if you're tuning in, if you're a loyal viewer, if you're just joining us for the first time. We're so excited to have you, and be sure to keep it here all day, because we'll also be bringing you the Fort Wayne rally in a few hours, and also Cape Girardeau at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So keep it right here. Liz and the other cameraman will be at that one, so we're really excited about that. So thank you guys again for supporting us continually. Like I said, we couldn't do it without you. There's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. I know I talked about the gubernatorial race and the Senate race here in the Buckeye State previously, but I do want to touch on the House district races. So 16 seats are currently up for grabs. There's a couple different ones I want to highlight for different reasons. So District 1, we have incumbent Republican Steve Shabbat, who is running against Democratic nominee Aftab Purval. And I'm just looking over, it looks like someone's throwing out some more shirts. Some sort of merchandise coordinator is throwing some free shirts into the crowd. Everyone's going crazy. Yeah, everyone's super, super excited. People are very, very excited about that. But anyway, just continuing with what I was saying, so Shabbat actually served from 1995 to 2009, and then again in 2012 to 2016. So he's well versed in politics and definitely knows what he's doing. He's very experienced. Polls do indicate that this district leans GOP, and Shabbat is up by quite a few points. But this, the reason why I honed in on this specific district is because it's actually been targeted by the Democratic Congressional Committee. So something kind of interesting to note and keep your eye on come midterm elections tomorrow. Now, Shabbat campaigns a lot on helping veterans, securing national security in our borders, and reducing government spending. So all issues that the president resonates with and has really advocated for during his presidency. Moving on now to District 12. Now, this district is deemed a toss-up. There were 2 elections this year, or there will have been by tomorrow. The first one was held in August when incumbent Troy Balderson, the Republican, won, and this was following the Representative Patrick Tiberi, who previously held the seat. But he stepped down, so Balderson will now serve until January. But the next election is tomorrow to see if he will continue with a full term following that. Now, Balderson, like I said, is the Republican, and he's running against County Recorder Danny O'Connor, who is the Democratic nominee. Now, this district was actually targeted by Planned Parenthood, which is why I wanted to hone in on this a little bit as well. Now, this district has been red since 1983, but again, no reason to become complacent. If you live in this district, be sure to get out and vote for Balderson. Polls do indicate that it's tied and it's a total toss-up. The most recent poll that I found suggested that Balderson was up by 0.9%, so less than a point, trailing ahead of his opponent. The president backed him months ago and emphasized his support back in August. So the president is definitely on Balderson's team. Moving on now, I just want to talk a little bit about midterms in general. So there's a lot at stake here. The House, we currently have the majority, the GOP does, with 235 seats, and the Democrats hold 193 of those seats. Now the Senate, we hold a majority in a razor-thin regard. So we have 51 seats, and the Democrats have 49 seats. As you can see, this is a very, very slim majority. The president made a remark at a rally previously, and he said, you know, someone has the cold or the flu, and we no longer have the majority. We can't vote on anything. So it's really, really important to get to the polls so we not only maintain these majorities in the upper and lower chambers, but actually garner more seats than ever before. Now, the president has targeted key races in Arizona, Florida, Indiana, Missouri, and Nevada to make sure that these seats are not only staying GOP, but like I said, turning more seats red as well that were previously blue. Recent findings indicate, according to 538's forecast, that the GOP is 85% likely to keep the Senate majority, but the House is a little bit more of a toss-up. Like you guys know, the president has campaigned a lot during these rallies for Senate candidates and gubernatorial candidates, but has focused less on House candidates. It doesn't mean he supports them any less. It's just I think he's prioritizing his time because this is such a critical moment, especially for the Senate. Now, the Democrats would need 23 additional seats to take the lower chamber. So although this isn't, we really don't know what's going to happen is the moral of the story. These polls, like I said, are reference points, but not the end-all be-all. So be sure to go vote tomorrow if you haven't done so already. I know a lot of states do early voting, but if you have not done so and your state does not offer that, be sure to cast your ballot at the polls tomorrow. It's absolutely critical. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about what's at stake here come these elections tomorrow. Well, there's a lot at stake. You know, the Democrats want to open our borders. We have this caravan, or we have multiple caravans, coming up through Latin America right now, which is really, important that we stop that. So this is becoming quickly a national security issue. The president has deployed several hundred troops to the border, and they are also constructing several wall types in order to keep these people out. He's made it clear that he will not let people in who are undocumented and unchecked, and that just will not happen. Now, if the Democrats take control of the House and or the Senate, this could be a lot harder to do. The president's efficiency and productivity could likely be, depleted substantially because he won't have the support of lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Also, we have very generous asylum processes, and we have those for those who need it. But the president has clarified that those need to be reserved for those in need, and that doesn't mean that you just feel like coming to America, you're entitled to this program. I also want to mention what else is at stake. The Democrats have talked a little bit about impeaching now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Now, although, let's say theoretically they were to do this, so they would need a majority in the House to vote in favor and 2/3 of the Senate. Although this isn't likely, technically it's something that could come into play should they take over both the upper and lower chamber, or even one as well. Now, they could also push articles of impeachment for the president of the United States. We know that Maxine Waters, the Democratic representative from the state of California, has called for that repeatedly. Now, although she has backed off of that a little bit since it is election season, it's important to note that she has spoken her mind about that, and I'm sure her colleagues would be quick to join in with her as well. Now, should they take control and should we lose seats, we also could have Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. If you don't want that to happen, get out there and vote red. Also, we could have Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. If you equally dislike that as much as the previous analogy, get out there and vote. Should we lose seats, nominations could also be halted. This includes conservative judges. I know we have several, if not hundreds of nominations that are currently pending and waiting approval, but those things will definitely be halted and slowed down at the very least if we don't have as many GOP lawmakers on the Hill. Also, the Democrats would focus substantially on oversight and investigation, which is essentially obstruction, really obstructing the democratic processes and focusing on investigating things like the president's tax returns when they should be worried about border security. Now, the president, overall, his agenda would be harder to push, and it would be less efficient and productive if we lose seats. So that's why it's really, really critical that you get out there and vote. This is one of the most important, if not the most important election in our nation's history. Now, I just want to give a shout out. We have another donation from, it looks like PA Jeeper 420 for 1106. It says, do your part, take someone else with you to vote. Red pill others while standing in line. We have to get this right. Trust Q and do your part. Let's roll. Thank you so much. Yes, I know I talk about this a lot, but I can't believe we are one day away from midterms. I mean, it's been weeks and weeks of campaigning and rallying, and we are finally here, so it's time to do your part. You know, here at Right Side Broadcasting, we love bringing you these rallies live and full, uncut, unedited, essentially like no other network does. But, you know, with that comes, you know, you also doing your civic duty and your civic right of voting. We need you to get out there and vote red so that all of these things can continue to take place. Also, we have a new member. I want to welcome Daryl Griffin. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I also want to just take the moment to thank all of our donors. If you have donated today or in the past, thank you so much for your contribution. It's definitely something that helps the trajectory substantially of this company. You know, without your donations, without your love and support, we can't get where we need to go. So you really are wonderful. I actually just spoke with a couple supporters during that break, and it was really awesome because we were standing up on the risers and someone shouted RSBN. And like I said, it's just moments like that that make this all worth it. We currently have 3 teams and we're all divvied up right now. So there's another team in Fort Wayne, Indiana, who will be bringing you that rally. There's also another team going to, which is Liz and cameraman, going to Cape Girardeau, Missouri at 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So be sure to keep it right here all day at RSBN. And again, my name is Bailee Byers, reporting live from Cleveland, Ohio. It is, I'm trying to check the local time right now, it's 2:24. We're expecting the president in the next 30 minutes tops, so it's not long away. Also, I want to shout out some of our partners. So the Donald on Reddit, Diamond and Silk, Patriot Soapbox, and all of the other wonderful platforms that we partner with. Thank you so much. You are the reason why we are able to reach more and more people. And it's really awesome to be able to, you know, bring these rallies to them as well. I'm just going through the chat right now. If you have any questions, be sure to drop those in. I'm just checking that out right now. I also want to mention, if you're just tuning in, we are at the IX Center in Cleveland, Ohio, which holds about 7,500 people, give or take. We had a couple people speak prior to the break, and they had mentioned that there could be upwards of 10,000 people here. I have not validated that, but that is what they had mentioned, so I'm not totally sure about that. I'm looking through the chat now as well. Let's see. Someone said, hey, Patriots vote November 6th. Absolutely. I know I harp on this a lot, but tomorrow is voting day, and you know, some states do offer early voting, but if you're in a state that does not offer that, then be sure to get to the polls tomorrow. It's absolutely critical. It looks like everyone is really excited. People are still filing in. They're holding their signs. We have a couple people wearing flags up here. So we're very excited about that. I also want to give another shout out to another donor, Mindy Jo Harrington Barber for $5. The Red Wave, vote red for freedom and constitutional law. 2020 Trump, a vote for red is a vote to help Trump helping us. Thank you so much. And absolutely, we are very, very excited. Very excited. I'm looking through some stuff right now. I know I had mentioned this earlier, but I think that we'll probably hear from Jim Renacci, who's running for the Senate here, and also the gubernatorial candidate, DeWine, who is running to be the next governor. So we're really looking forward to hearing from them. Like I said, the president should be here very shortly, in the next 30 minutes or so. So it's going to be a really great day. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, it's jam-packed today. So keep it on RSBN for the entire day. We will have live coverage for you. So Fort Wayne, Indiana is the next rally. That is at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Then we have another team going to Cape Girardeau, Missouri at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Be sure to keep it right here because we will have all of that for you. With just one day away from midterms, these rallies you would think would, you know, slow down, but the president, being 72 years old, has probably more energy than I could have ever imagined. It's really, really incredible. Also, thank you, Colin Lively, for your $9.99 donation. He said, I will be voting in Ohio first time in 30 years. Hashtag Renacci. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Get out there and vote. It's definitely a right, but it's also a duty. You have to get out there and do your part. Absolutely. So I just want to recap a little bit. We are at the IX Center. The speech is scheduled to begin around 3 p.m., so in the next half hour or so. It holds about 7,500 people. And by tomorrow, the president will have held 53 rallies in 23 different states and also headlined 70 fundraisers by then. Also, fun fact, this is either his 24th or 25th visit to Ohio since beginning his campaign back in 2015. So it's definitely an area he has focused quite a bit on. His last trip to Cleveland was prior to the May primaries, where he held a fundraiser and touted the GOP tax plan. But less than a month ago, actually, the president actually held another MAGA rally in Lebanon, which I was fortunate enough to go to that one. And that one he stumped for the Senate candidate, Jim Renacci, and also DeWine, who's running for the governorship here in Ohio. Just to recap a little bit on these races. So the incumbent Sherrod Brown for the Senate is running against Jim Renacci, and Renacci campaigns a lot on immigration reform and the Second Amendment. These are both issues that the president has definitely advocated for during his term. The president officially endorsed him in a tweet months ago back in April, and he said, and I quote, "Renacci has worked so hard on tax reductions, illegal immigration, the border, crime. I need Jim very badly to keep making America great again. He will be a fantastic senator for Ohio and has my full endorsement." And just bear with me for just a second. I'm coming back to the camera. And bear with me too. I'm juggling like a million things right now between my phone and my notes. So bear with me. Like I said, we're stretched very thin, but happy to do it. So anyway, I'm just going to continue on. So like I said, the president officially endorsed him back in April with that tweet. So from the beginning, he's been very clear about his support for Renacci. Now, according to According to 538, he votes with the president about 94.2% of the time. So it's definitely a key ally that he'd love to have in the Senate, definitely to turn that blue seat red come tomorrow. Now, he's voted in line with the president on the 2017 tax cuts, health savings accounts, the carbon tax, immigration, the 2018 Farm Bill, the opioid legislation, which they rolled out dozens and dozens of bills for that because it definitely affects a lot of people here in Ohio. Now, a recent poll, according to Real Clear Politics, claims Brown is up about 7.5 points, but definitely, like I said, take that with a grain of salt. The poll should be used as a reference point, but not the end-all be-all. And definitely don't let that be a tool to discourage you from voting. You know, voting is such an awesome thing that we have in our amazing republic that we live in, and we definitely need to make sure we're doing our civic duty and responsibility by allowing our voice to be heard. Now, I want to go into a little bit, if you're just tuning in, about the Senate candidate Jim Renacci on the issues. Now, like the president, he is a businessman and he has an entrepreneurship mentality, so they both kind of resonate with each other on that level. He also supports bolstering resources for the military to enhance national security, so he definitely stands with the president on securing our nation's borders. He also supports healthcare reform and wants to cut costs, but also at the same time increase accessibility. He also campaigns a lot on education reform. I believe he's a father of 3, so this is definitely something that hits home for him. He wants to enhance quality for the younger generations and make sure he's investing in them, knowing that they will lead this amazing nation one day. He also campaigns a lot on job creation and economic growth. He introduced several bills to help promote this, and you know, this really resonates with the jobs report that came out on Friday. If you didn't hear about that, it was pretty astounding. So the president created, or the administration, if you will, created 250,000 jobs just in the month of October. He also has added 800,000 manufacturing jobs since the beginning of his administration. The Consumer Confidence Index is at an 18-year high, and no industry jobs were lost. So this is pretty incredible, and people often do vote with their wallets. So this could be a very critical tool come tomorrow. Now, Renacci also campaigns a lot on tax cuts and balancing the budget, and by fiscal year 2019, which I believe they are passing that, according to, the fiscal year 2019 debt, we will be in $21.6 trillion of debt. So, you know, being a conservative, he's campaigning on making sure we balance that number and making sure we appropriate funds accordingly. He also campaigns a lot on tax reform. So he's a certified public accountant, so he has a lot of expertise in this area. He's also, like I said, a business owner, and he's also on the Ways and Means Committee. So he knows a thing or two about money, and he really capitalizes on Americans bringing home bigger paychecks than ever before. Bear with me for just 1 second. He also wants to, something that I didn't know much about, but I found very interesting, is that he backs our nation's veterans quite a bit, and this isn't really talked about in the media so much, so I just want to highlight that for a minute here too. So he wants to make sure, the people that go out are current and former service members who have gone out to risk their lives for American freedom and values. He wants to make sure they're taken care of. He was actually a sponsor of the Vulnerable Veterans Housing Reform Act, which ensures that severely wounded warriors come home and have access to housing despite rising health costs that are in connection with those injuries. So he wants to make sure these service members and our veterans are very well taken care of. He also introduced another piece of legislation to enhance education and career resources to our veterans, which is really important because when you go, I haven't been through this transition obviously, but I can only imagine going through the transition from military life to civilian life, it will have its challenges. So he wants to make sure that our veterans have the resources needed to make that a seamless transition, if you will. There's also a slew of other bills that he's backed that were passed or introduced in connection with helping our veterans. So it definitely shows his commitment to our armed forces. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the gubernatorial race here. This is also a critical race. So we have Ohio current Attorney General Mike DeWine, who is a Republican here, running against former Consumer Financial Protection Bureau Director Richard Cordray, who's a Democratic nominee. Now, whoever wins this race will replace current Governor Republican John Kasich, who is prevented by term limits from running again. So the GOP has won this gubernatorial race 7 out of the last 10 elections. So even though this has been a red seat for quite some time, and for a majority of the time, it's really, really important to still, if you're in Ohio, get out and vote for Mike DeWine. It's really, really important. Also, the GOP, this race has been deemed a toss-up, but it's projected to be, like I said, very close. So definitely let this be an incentive for you to definitely get out there and vote. Whether it's a toss-up, whether it leans GOP, leans Democratic, it doesn't matter. Get out there and get your voice heard and make sure you cast that ballot. Now, according to a Real Clear Politics poll, Cordray was up 4.7 points. Like I said, not the end-all be-all, just a little bit of a reference point. Now, a little bit about DeWine. He wants to further the GOP agenda in D.C. on the Hill, also for the state of Ohio and Native Ohioans, and also a little bit about his background. He went to Miami University for his undergraduate degree, then to law school at Ohio Northern University, and then following that, he became the county prosecutor. So he's definitely well-versed in his job, if you will. Now, I just want to take a moment, if you're just tuning in, or if you've been watching all day, thank you so much. Really, you guys are such rock stars. I'm having the best time ever today. It's a little bit bittersweet. I'm here with Max Kleiber, my coworker who's behind the camera doing all the tech stuff and behind the scenes necessities. And, we're really excited to be here, but it's also kind of bittersweet. It's our last rally. So, we'll be wrapping up today. Like I said, we've divvied up into 3 different teams. So it's an awesome day, but it's a little bit bittersweet. I just started doing this a few weeks ago, but it's been such an incredible journey, and I'm so blessed by it. It's really incredible. Also, if you have donated today or in the past or whenever, thank you guys incredibly so much. It really means the world to us. We're trying to bolster our resources for 2020 campaigning in those elections. So if you're able to donate, it would be very much appreciated. You can do that at rsbnetwork.com/donate. or PayPal or Patreon. Patreon is when you can be a monthly donor and you'll get things like pens, pencils, mugs, and all sorts of fun memorabilia, if you will. Also, you can donate via YouTube. So just know we really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome rock stars, and we couldn't do it without you. Now, just going off of what I was previously talking about a little bit on DeWine, the gubernatorial candidate here in Ohio. Now, he campaigns a lot on, things that really resonate with the president. He supports his economic agenda, his economic progression, and increased access to necessary job training, which is something kind of interesting that the first daughter has campaigned a lot on. She has gone around and made sure she's pushed for increased STEM education for women and girls across the country and for, the average American everywhere. So she's done a lot with that as well. So it's definitely something that they're both aligned on. He also wants to expand research and investment in the state of Ohio and decrease government regulation. This is something the president has pushed for since the beginning, and we have reaped, just spectacular benefits, and you can see it all reverberate throughout the economy. Also, he wants to combat the opioid epidemic, which has a specific, which specifically is in the state of Ohio. Last year, he introduced a comprehensive plan to help Ohio eradicate the growing job problem as well. So he's really done a lot here. He was also one of the first attorney generals to take legal action against drug manufacturers. And in that, he suggested that those manufacturers were not transparent about the prescription's addictive qualities. So definitely taking steps in the right direction for that opioid epidemic. Now, in regards to education reform, he wants to increase technology, increase access in schools, and making post-secondary education more affordable. So he wants more Americans to be able to afford to go to college, not making it free like a lot of socialists and other Democrats think, but just making it more affordable and offering different avenues to achieving that sort of goal. He also works on healthcare reform and increased, like I said, he wants to increase access while cutting costs, just like Renacci. He also, like I briefly mentioned, wants to increase investment into the state of Ohio and let more businesses come here and, really bolster that private sector here in the state. In regards to schools, he wants to make sure students and teachers are safe in their learning environment. He also has supported law enforcement. He said he will ask and push for safety vests for Ohio peace officers who could be subject to gunfire. He also wants to decrease wait times for DNA analysis used during criminal investigations. So he's been very, very productive as Attorney General. This might be the most interesting fact that I found about him, though. So when he took office in 2011, there was thousands of rape kits that were left untested, unfortunately. And he took it into his own hands to make sure that they were tested. So he really, this shows his commitment to victims across the state of sexual assault. So those who say that he's not for victims, he absolutely is, and that proves it right there. So that was a little bit about DeWine. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, my name is Bailee Byers. We are live here from Right Side Broadcasting in Cleveland, Ohio. We are here at the IX Center. It holds about 7,500 people. So we're really, really excited to be here. Guys, bear with me for just a second. I'm just going to pull up this chat. Yeah, like I said before, we heard from some pretty incredible people. I'm bringing up that list right now. So we heard first from Keith Faber, who is the state auditor candidate here, and he is the Republican. And he touted the president's leadership and just really praised him for everything he's done throughout his administration thus far. He also said he's not tired of winning yet. He urged everyone to get to the polls in order to preserve the Trump administration's astounding agenda. He said, everyone get out there and vote. He said also that there could be around 10,000 people here. So that's not verified, but he had mentioned that, so I thought that might be something you guys might find interesting. Also, we heard from Pastor Daryl Scott, who led us in a beautiful prayer. He did an incredible job. He's a staunch presidential supporter and has been since the beginning, so it was great to hear from him as well. We also heard from the Secretary of State candidate, Franklin Rose, who he led the Pledge of Allegiance, which was pretty awesome. And I'm just going to transition over here for just a minute, guys. But yeah, I just want to thank you again for tuning in. I'm just recapping for you right now the intro speakers that we had just moments ago. We also heard from Bob Gibbs, who's running in the 7th district here in Ohio. He was called a farmer, father, and presidential supporter. He slammed socialism. He said it's like taking from the haves and giving to the have-nots, and it fails everywhere. He went on to praise capitalism, saying it allows competition and opportunity throughout the country. He finished by saying socialism is not welcome here, and he wants to, quote, shut them down at the ballot box. We also heard from Anthony Gonzalez, who is the representative, who is the 16th district candidate. He talked about a lot about pursuing the American dream. His family was a family of immigrants from Cuba, so it was really intriguing to hear from him as well. And he went on to reiterate how much we need our supporters at the polls tomorrow. Like I said, I can't even believe I'm saying tomorrow at this point. It's pretty crazy that weeks and weeks and months of rallies has come to this, and we just have to make sure we get out there and vote. It really is pretty amazing. Now, I'm just looking at the chat right now. I want to give a shout out to Cool 7 Songs. They donated $20. Thank you so much. We also have a donation from Amy Powell for $20 saying #walkaway. Thanks for all that you do. Thank you so, Amy. We absolutely love doing it. Also, Jay-Z Knight for $99.99 saying more, please. Well, you'll have us all day. Keep it right here. Like I said, we'll be bringing you this rally, then the Fort Wayne, Indiana rally, and then following that, the Cape Girardeau rally at 9 p.m. Eastern. So keep it right here, and you'll have all that live coverage, totally unedited and uncut. Also, Jay-Z Knight donated another $99. Thank you so much, Jay-Z. Oh, and a third. Thank you so much, Jay-Z Knight. He said, voted in Washington State with thousands of friends. Bring it. Absolutely. I love the enthusiasm. So I just want to say thank you. If you're in the chat, feel free to drop questions, anything you want to share. Thank you again to our moderators. I know you guys work overtime to make sure it's a clean, family-friendly chat, and it really means the world to us. You guys work very hard, and it's something that, doesn't always get acknowledged because you guys are, a little bit more behind the scenes, but you're just as critical in this movement as anyone. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just looking right now. It is 2:43 local time. We could be expecting him any moment now. We heard anywhere from 2:30 to 3 p.m. So at this point, it really is any moment now that we'll see the president. Now, I do want to explain a little bit. You may be wondering, why donate now? We're about to, wrap up these rallies, but this actually could arguably be the most critical point for RSBN, and that's because we're trying to bolster the resources for 2020 campaigning. So at this point, we're trying to make sure that we can go to all of those rallies and all of those events to make sure that we can bring you that live coverage, and we can't do that without your support. So if you'd like to donate, you can do that via YouTube. You can do that via the website at rsbnetwork.com/donate, or you can do it through Patreon, where you can be a monthly member and donate monthly, and you'll get things like pens, pencils, hats, mugs, which is a really awesome way of us saying thank you to you guys. You can also do that through PayPal. And I just want to thank you again if you've donated today, in the past. You guys are absolute rock stars. I also want to thank Helen Russer, who just donated $100. Thank you so much, Helen. We really appreciate all of you guys. Every dollar, every penny counts. It really means the world to us. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our partners, which include but are not limited to the Donald on Rennet, Diamond and Silk, Patriot Soapbox, and everyone else who partners with us. You guys are absolutely awesome. Aw, Super Fester just said in the chat, why are you gals so amazingly good, Bailee? Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Also, thank you to Cabby number 1. They donated $5, said #unbearables. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I'm just looking through the chat right now. Like I said, if you have any questions, anything you want me to talk specifically about, I'd be happy to do that. Someone said the polls are wrong again. Yes, like I said, the polls, I love to say, you use them as a reference point, something that you can kind of, use as a reference point, but not the end all be all, and it's not law. So like I said, the polls were completely wrong back in 2016. And look at the amazing president we have now. All the polls said he had nearly a 0% chance of winning, and now he's president, and he's completely transformed our country for the best. So like I said, not something to totally live by, but something to use just simply as a reference point. So if you're just tuning in, I just want to thank you so much. My name is Bailee Byers, reporting live with Right Side Broadcasting Network in Cleveland, Ohio at the IX Center. We are currently awaiting the next Make America Great Again presidential rally. And I also want to give a shout out to Ramachandran. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. They donated $1.99. Thank you so much. We appreciate that really more than you know. I'm going through the chat right now. Let's see. Like I said, if you have questions, any comments, be sure to drop that here. The chat's one of my favorite things, honestly, because it's a really cool interactive way for us to be able to be front and center at these rallies, but also interact with our supporters, because like I said, without you, this wouldn't matter. So it's really awesome that not only do we have this platform, but we get to interact with you on a personal level as well. Like I said here, we had a couple people shout us out close by the media pen, and it's so rewarding to hear that. We work really hard and love what we do, but when we hear you guys, see us and recognize us, it really is just so worth it. So let's see here. I'm just looking through the chat. Like I said, it's about 2:45 local time. The president is expected around 3 p.m., give or take. So any moment now. Also, I want to shout out the Fed. They donated $5. Thank you so much. They said, explain to me how Obama says it's not possible. Quote, you got to have a magic wand. Then says it was his doing. Yes, I'm not really sure. That's all I can say. And thank you to Barbara Bailee. She just dropped the mailing address in. So if you'd like to donate via mail, you can do that as well. Thank you so much. Let's see. Sorry, y'all, bear with me. My voice is a little rough right now. Also, I want to shout out Mr. Nicktown, who gave a $1776 donation saying Bears and Bees kicking commies since 1776. Thank you so much. You guys are such rock stars. We couldn't do it without you. We're really excited. I think the president is going to talk a lot today, probably about border security, the economy, the jobs report that was released back on Friday. Astounding report, 250,000 jobs added just in the month of October. He's just done more for this country in less than 2 years than arguably a lot of other leaders. So it's just really awesome to have him here in Cleveland, Ohio. And like I said, this is just one rally in a series of 3 today. The next rally will be in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then following that, it's going to be at 9 p.m. in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And I just want to reiterate that if you want to watch those rallies in full, definitely keep it here. And you can do that on RSBN. We're really excited to bring you guys all of this. Like I said, we're just sitting here. We're waiting now for the president to make his appearance. It's 2:49 p.m. local time. So essentially any minute now. It's just a matter of time. It looks like we have another donation from the Sucky Gamer for $20. Saying, love you guys, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Like I said, it really does mean the world. I'm just looking through the chat right now. Like I said, if you want to chat about anything, you want me to talk about something specific that you find really interesting, be sure to drop that in the chat. I'm going through it right now. Just bear with me. Like I said, this is a one-woman show. Today it's me and Max here. He's behind the camera doing all the tech, behind the scenes stuff. So he's working hard to make sure everything runs really smoothly. And then Joe is at headquarters in Auburn, Alabama. So, it's a team of 3 today. And then later we will have Aaron at the Fort Wayne rally. And then Liz and cameraman at the Cape Girardeau, Missouri rally. So definitely a lot going on today, but we are just so excited about it. It's been a crazy, hectic week, but we are really, really ready for tomorrow. It's crazy that it's already tomorrow. But like I said, thank you to everyone that's donated so far today. It really does mean the world to us. We couldn't do without you. Your support really does make this company run and keep it going. And without you, it wouldn't be possible. It looks like someone's coming out on stage right now. I'm not sure what's going on, but we will keep you guys posted. Oh, it looks like he's bringing something up to the podium. So the president, I'm not sure if he's touched down yet, but he's not here quite yet. It looks like he should be here in the next 10 minutes or so. So, it's really, we're getting closer and closer to seeing his appearance. And this, like I said, we're almost there. Oh, Deploribus Unum said, you're doing an awesome job. Thank you so much. We really appreciate this support. It's really nice to hear that you guys do like what you see. And if you do like what you see, definitely consider donating. It means the world to us. And it looks like everyone kind of is on edge now, standing up. I think everyone's expecting the president really any moment now. Like I said, because he has a series of 3 rallies today, I would not be surprised if he comes earlier and leaves a little bit earlier. I also want to shout out Alan Morse for your $10 donation. They said, thank you, RSBN, for spreading the message of MAGA. Of course, thank you so much, Alan. Also, $4.99 from Salvatore Plucino. I'm sorry if I butchered that. It says, take down Hollywood. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are absolutely awesome. Also, we have a $2.99 donation from D West. Thank you so much. We also have another donation. Let's see, $20 from Alan Kendrick saying, born in Cleveland, but trapped in California. Thanks, RSBN. Good job, Bailee and Max. Wow, Alan, that's awesome. I just moved from San Diego, so I feel you on that. California is definitely a different breed, but still, if you're in California, get out there and vote, 'cause it's never too late to go red. So especially if you're in, a state that might be historically deep blue, do not let that be a deterring factor in not voting. Looks like we have another donation, $10 from Breitbart for $10. Saying, on behalf of my liberal daughter who voted all blue today in Indiana, she just donated $25 to Trump too. Thank you so much, Val. We really appreciate that. Like I said, just looking through the chat now, and we are only, sorry y'all, bear with me. We're just awaiting the president now. It really should be any moment here. Like I said, looking through the chat, if you have questions, something you want me to address, feel free to drop that in. It looks like we have another $25 donation from Turtle saying, where we go one, we go all. Love RSBN. Thank you so much. Looks like we have another one. Oh, another $25 donation from Turtle saying the same thing. Where we go one, we go all. Love RSBN. Thank you so much. I can't say thank you guys enough. You really are the reason that we're able to do what we do. And this really, although it gets hectic, it really is such a blessing to be able to do this. So thank you guys so much. And I just want to take this moment too to thank our moderators who are constantly in the chat, working behind the scenes to make sure everything is family friendly and clean in the chat. So thank you so much, because you guys do not get enough credit for what you do behind the scenes. Also, I think we have another donation. And it looks like, just 1 second. Oh, just kidding. Wait, hang on 1 second. $25 from Turtle just mentioned that. 2020 from Michael Davis saying Trump 2020. Thank you so much, Michael. Like I said, a lot of this is going to bolstering our resources for 2020. So thank you again for supporting us. It means the world. We also have another $10 donation from George Handler. Thank you so much, George. You guys really are rock stars. It's so incredible to be standing up here talking to you guys and be shouted out from the sidelines. So, with people recognizing us and knowing who we are, it's really incredible, because we love reaching as many people as possible. Also, we have a new member. I want to welcome the Sucky Gamer. Thank you so much for joining. We're happy to have you. Also, $10 from Helga Deo saying, don't listen to the slanted polls. Get out there and vote red. Absolutely, Helga. Tell all your friends. Get everyone out there, get out there to vote. We're really excited about tomorrow, and regardless of what happens, everything will be okay. Get out there and do your civic duty and responsibility by voting. Let your voice be heard. It's absolutely pertinent. Also, thank you so much if you have donated today. Oh, it looks like John Carter donated $2 saying, gotta give a little every broadcast. MAGA in Indiana. Thank you so much, John. We were actually just in Indiana on Thursday and Friday covering that Indianapolis rally. So thank you for your support. We really enjoyed our time there. Also, $2 from Informative Info saying, don't forget to subscribe to Informative Info for Q. Thank you so much. Also, $25 from TTR MCN saying, we love RSBN in Canada. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate that. And like I said, what time is it local time? It's about 2:55. So any minute now, the president will make his appearance. Like I said, he will be here. I would probably project an hour, so maybe a little bit less. And then following that, he will be headed to Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is not too far. Luckily, we're right next to the Cleveland airport here, so it'll be very convenient for him to jet set off. But also, he will be headed to Cape Girardeau, Missouri after that. And that broadcast will be at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Be sure to tune in for that. Liz will be our host for that one. I know she's really excited about that. Also, Keith Cloyd donated $5. Pray for a victory tomorrow. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your donation. It looks like we have another donation of $5, I believe it's pounds, from Jason in Ireland. We love Trump. Thank you so much. Also, $10 from Tia Marie. Thank you so much, Tia. I can't stress it enough how much you guys mean to us. It really, truly is a blessing to do this. And like I said, now it's just after 2:55, so we are, awaiting the president any second now. It could be any second now, and here we go.
United States, Donald J. Trump.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
There is something going on, Ohio, that they're not talking about. There's something going on. You look at this gigantic room, and there are many more people outside trying to get in. Should we let them in or not? The problem is we don't have the room to let them in. Thousands of people outside. There is something going on. There's an electricity like people have not seen since a date, 2016 November. A lot of things are going on. Get out and vote. Hello, Ohio. I love Ohio. Remember, I heard it over and over again. You cannot win, right? You cannot win. Everything goes through Ohio. You cannot win without the great state of Ohio. So we won Ohio easily. Easily. We won Ohio together, and we won the whole thing. And I'm thrilled to be in Cleveland, Ohio, where we had a wonderful convention. And I'm with thousands of hardworking, great American patriots. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. This is our final day. 2 stops after this. I did a lot of stops. I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of Make America Great Again hats. A lot of hats. I saw a lot of spirit. I saw a lot of spirit like this country hasn't seen. We have what we've done. This is the greatest political movement of all time in this country. And it's an incredible time in America. Jobs are soaring. Wages are rising. Poverty is plummeting. And more Americans are working today than ever before in the history of our nation. Think of that. How do we lose that? How do we lose that in a debate? More people are working today than ever before. Somehow, whenever they do pick their far-left candidate, I think we're going to do okay. We have a lot of good sound bites. Our military is stronger than ever. We have a lot of great sound bites. Tomorrow, the people of Ohio are going to elect Mike DeWine and a Republican Congress to keep America's economic boom surging full speed ahead. Mike DeWine, boy, he is fighting. He's great. And I know his opponent, he's a disaster. I'm just saying, there are some Democrats, they're fine. This guy, Cordray, is a bad guy, not a good person. He's hurt a lot of people. What he's done to people is a disgrace. And I hope he loses for two reasons. Number one, Mike DeWine he's going to be a great governor, and Cordray, a bad person who will do a terrible job. Okay. Now that I have that out of my system, let's go back. It's true. That's true. He's a bad person. Republicans we actually essentially fired him, so I know a lot about him. They're fired. Republicans have created the best economy in the history of our country and the hottest jobs market. Well, look, you take a look. Take a look what's happened. This is the hottest place economically anywhere in the world right now. When I have some wonderful leaders of countries, presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, some dictators, but we don't mention that. The first thing they say to me is, congratulations, Mr. President. You have the hottest economic nation anywhere in the world. Congratulations. And Ohio sees it just about better than anybody, because you see the car companies back, the car companies expanding, other companies are coming back. Remember, they were all leaving. Now they're all coming back, folks. They're all coming back. Just like I said, but I did mislead you in one way, and I apologize. I didn't know we could do it this fast. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know we could do it this quickly. It's gone very quickly. If I would have said that out on the campaign trail, I would have been greeted with the worst headlines. They would have said, how dare he make those statements? But what we've done in less than 2 years, no president or administration in its first 2 years has done anywhere near what this administration has done. And they know it. And they know it. But everything we have created and achieved is at stake on Election Day. It is. If the radical Democrats take power, they will take a wrecking ball to our economy and to our future. A wrecking ball. When you enter the voting booth on Tuesday, you will be making a simple choice. A vote for Republicans is a vote to continue our extraordinary prosperity, our extraordinary journey together. It's a journey that we made together, not me, all of us together. A vote for Democrats is a vote to bring this economic boom crashing to a sudden halt. The Democrat agenda is a socialist nightmare for our country. The Republican agenda is the American dream, and that's what we're doing. We're bringing back the American dream. In the last month alone, we added 250,000 jobs. And these are beautiful, brand new, spanking new jobs in the month of October. We brought back nearly 500,000 people, and we brought them into the workforce, and they are so happy. The unemployment rate is the lowest level in 50 years. You saw on Friday, you saw the numbers were announced. Those numbers were announced. Good timing with all those great economic numbers that came out. Do you think the media wanted to maybe delay them till Wednesday? Would you say they would have been happy? They would have been happy if they could have delayed them. Announced the numbers the day after the election. No, they came out at a good time. Friday numbers, those were phenomenal numbers. You haven't seen numbers like that in a long time, many years. We've created 4.5 million new jobs since Election Day, and we have lifted 4.3 million Americans off of food stamps. African American, Hispanic American, Asian American unemployment have all reached their lowest levels in history. Jobless claims in Ohio have fallen to their lowest level ever recorded. We're bringing the jobs all back. They're coming back. A lot of them are coming back to Ohio. We sort of tell them, hey, how about Ohio? How about going to Ohio? Household income for Ohio families has reached the highest level in the history of your state, and we have put your coal miners and your steel workers back to work. We passed a massive tax cut, massive, for Ohio workers, and we will soon follow it up with another 10% tax cut for the middle class. We got to win the House to do that, by the way. Just put it in your heads. Put it in your heads when you're getting ready to vote. Well, you're voting. Who has already voted? So this is very much a Tuesday state. I found that with mine. I remember they said, well, the people are sort of holding for Tuesday. And did you show up on Tuesday? So, ready? Who is going to vote on Tuesday? Okay. Don't forget. Don't forget. You know, the midterm elections used to be like boring, didn't they? Do you even remember what they were? People say midterms. They say, what is that? What is it, right? Now it's like the hottest thing. These guys are making a fortune because of me and you. But it's true. It's true. I mean, who ever even heard of midterm? They don't even know what it is. I've had a lot of people say, I don't know what midterm is, but now I'm watching every single minute, and I'm going out to vote. But the key is you have to go out to vote. Because in a sense, I am on the ticket. You got to go out to vote. And you have to protect your rights and your freedoms. We overcame the Democrat smear campaign and confirmed the newest member of the United States Supreme Court, Justice Brett Kavanaugh. The contrast in this election could not be more clear. Democrats produce mobs, Republicans produce jobs. If crying Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the legendary Maxine Waters gain the majority, they will try to raise your taxes, restore job-killing regulations, shut down your coal mines and your steel mills. That's what's going to happen. Take away your health care. Your health care, you could forget it. You're going to live in a socialist world. And put illegal aliens before American citizens. The people of Ohio are not too happy. Not too happy. I know Ohio well. I don't know if I used to work in Ohio for summers with my father on a job we had in Cincinnati, Ohio. I worked for a couple of summers and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And I won't tell you, but I used to, I shouldn't say that in this room, but I, on occasion, would be known to sneak into Kentucky because I liked Kentucky. I like Kentucky for all the wrong reasons, but I like Kentucky. I liked it. I had a good time in Cincinnati, Ohio. I learned a lot. I learned a lot in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I love Ohio. Maybe that's why we won it by so much, remember? Everything goes through Ohio. I love the people of Ohio. The Democrat platform is a 2018 socialism, open borders edict. Democrats are inviting caravan after caravan, isn't that nice, of illegal aliens to flood into our country and overwhelm your communities. That's what's happened. Have you seen the pictures? And they try and play it down like it's not that many. It's not that many people. You know, you're looking at a bridge with thousands and thousands. Oh, we're building the wall. No, we're building the wall. Don't worry about it. We've already started. 1.6 billion. We've already started. Yep, we've started. We want to do it at one time. Although barbed wire looks like it's going to be very effective, too. With soldiers standing in front of it. By the way, how good does our military look? Doesn't it look like? If you want more caravans and more crime, vote Democrat. If you want strong borders and safe communities, vote Republican. Now, I have no idea where they are in this incredible room. I don't know, maybe they're outside. They got stuck outside with a lot of people. But we are thrilled to be joined today by many terrific Ohio Republican members of Congress. Here's a guy I love, because he's a champion. Years, the NCAA champion in wrestling. His record is crazy, like 128 and some crazy record. And you know why? Not because of just the muscle. It's because of this right here. Because of this. This muscle, that's your most important right here. A lot of strong people, but if you don't have this, doesn't matter. Congressman Jim Jordan, where is he? He's a champ. I love him defending me on television. He is a bulldog. He doesn't give a damn. Boom, 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 point after point. Right? He's a champ. Say something.
Thank you. I love you too. So the president is exactly right. The choice tomorrow could not be more clear. The left has gone completely crazy. They applaud Kaepernick when he disrespects the flag. They cheer on Governor Cuomo when he says America was never that great. And they embrace Maxine Waters when she says go out and harass anyone who supports our president. Contrast that with the record in the 21 months under the president's leadership. Regulations reduced, taxes cut, economy growing at 4%, lowest unemployment in 50 years. Gorsuch and Kavanaugh on the court, out of that crazy Iran deal. The embassy's in Jerusalem, the hostages are home from North Korea, and oh, by the way, there's a new NAFTA agreement. That is the choice tomorrow. Go vote Republican tomorrow. God bless you all. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Jim. Champion. He's a champion, one of the greats. He's one of the best. Congressman Bill Johnson. Bill. These are great people. These are great people. They help us so much with so many, including the tax cuts and regulations, and we wouldn't get by without them. It's Ohio. Congressman Bob Gibbs. Bob. Great guy. Congressman Warren Davidson. Dave Joyce. Where's Dave Joyce? Thank you, Dave. Great job. They do. These are great people. And our Republican nominee for Ohio's 16th Congressional District, you know him very well, Anthony Gonzalez. I hear his poll numbers are looking very good. Is that right, fellas? Looking good? He's looking good. I hear he's looking good. And also a special person, and he was going to make his way up. I said, do this. Don't even think about it. Just keep campaigning because he's doing fantastic. He's only been there for a short while. Troy Balderson. He's respected by everybody. Troy Balderson. Troy is in there working. I said, just stay there and campaign. Don't take any chances. Troy Balderson, vote for him. If you don't want to be saying the words, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, for the next 2 years, get out and vote for a Republican House, so important. And we're also grateful to be joined by somebody who's really worked hard. His whole life he's worked hard. He gets it. He's a wonderful human being. He's strong. He's tough. He doesn't take no for an answer. He's run, I hear, a really good campaign. Not easy. It's not easy. Nothing's easy. But he is somebody that he gets in. You're going to be so happy. You're going to be so happy, so thrilled. Hopefully your next senator, Jim Renacci.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Listen, it was just 2 years ago that I welcomed here at the Ag Center. It was Mr. Trump at that time. And look at what he's done for Ohio. Look at what he's done for Ohio. Look, the Buckeye State loves you. We love what you're doing. Jobs growing, economy is up, unemployment down, wages are up, and Sherrod Brown's going to be gone tomorrow. So, again, thank you all. We've been fighting. The polls are narrowing. We got a good poll today. Shows we've crossed over and we're winning. Let's make it happen tomorrow. Get out and vote. Thank you.
He's a fighter. He's a fighter, a real fighter. Be a tremendous senator. Now, I don't know, they'll say this is nepotism, but the truth is, she's a very, very, you're not allowed to use the word beautiful anymore when you talk about women. You're not allowed. No. It's politically incorrect. No. It's politically, I will never call a woman beautiful again. And every man here, raise your hand. You will never, ever say your wife, your girlfriend, anybody is beautiful, right? Okay. So I'm not allowed to say it. Because it's my daughter Ivanka, but she's really smart. And she's here. Should I bring her up? Come on. Ivanka, come up.
Hi, Ohio. That was some introduction. It is always, always, always an honor to be here, and I am so proud what we're all here fighting for. This president, my father, promised that he would fight to give you all a voice. He promised that he would fight for the forgotten men and women of America. And he is fighting hard. I see it every single day. And the fight is paying off. Wages are rising. Unemployment is at historic low rates across almost every single category. People are coming off the sidelines and back into the economy and realizing the opportunity of the American dream. In October alone, 250,000 people entered the workforce. Incredible. So what tomorrow is all about is keeping that going. This is the golden era of economic opportunity, of prosperity, and of security. And that's what we're all fighting for. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Ohio. We love you.
Okay. All right. I never said she was beautiful. But she was smart. I'll tell you what, always like a great student, always a great student. And I remember when she graduated from the Wharton School of Finance, some of her classmates came up and said, I don't know if I like this. They said, Mr. Trump, she doesn't even try and she gets great marks. She gets these great marks. And there's something okay about that, too. But she has been a wonderful daughter. I have to tell you, she's been a wonderful, wonderful daughter. And her big thing is creating jobs in our country. She's done it so much. She goes all over. She meets with companies. She's creating 5-6 million workforce where they're training people that have never done this. And I think they're up to almost 6 million people right now being trained by the companies, because the companies can do it better than the government, right? And it's more specific. So she has been incredible. Thank you, Ivanka. Finally, tomorrow, the people of Ohio are going to elect an outstanding new governor and lieutenant governor. They got together. They were smart. That was pretty smart, right? They got together. They went head to head, and then all of a sudden, they got together. How smart. We should see more of that in this country, shouldn't we? Think of it. Mike DeWine and John Husted. They got together, the two top candidates. They call it a merger. Mike DeWine has spent his entire life fighting for Ohio families. He loves this state. He will keep your jobs going way up. And you know what? I'll work hard either way, but it helps when you have a governor who somebody likes that happens to be president, don't you think? You know? Maybe you take his call instead of not taking his call when they need help for something, and we help a lot. But he's working on your taxes, and always he wants those taxes to go way down, and they will be, because we have so much business coming in. And he will always support our brave military. He loves our veterans, he loves our military, and he loves our law enforcement. Mike's opponent, who was in my administration for a short while, who was, by the way, terrible, is a far-left radical socialist named Richard Cordray, and not a good person. He was handpicked, and he's a disciple of Elizabeth Warren, who I can no longer call Pocahontas because she has no Indian blood. She has no Indian blood. I used to go around saying, I have more Indian blood than you do, and I have none. And I was right. I mean, the only bad thing about that is that I can't really legitimately call her Pocahontas anymore because the press will say I'm misrepresenting. Okay. I'll call her Pocahontas anyway. We won't give up that. That name is too good to give up. It's too good. But this Cordray guy, literally, she grabbed him and put him there. Spent the last 6 years in Washington crushing people, crushing community banks, destroying small businesses, and destroying jobs. He also, in a big scandal, spent nearly $250 million of federal money to renovate a headquarters agency that the government doesn't even own. It's a lease. and more than twice what the entire building was worth. And the escalators or the elevators, I hear, they're the most expensive elevators in the history of the world. Let's put it that way. They're the most expensive elevators. I heard the price. I said, that doesn't sound right. Now Cordray wants to bring his socialist job-killing crusade and destroy the state of Ohio. Cordray's anti-worker, and he is anti-worker and he's anti-business, extremism will drive your state into poverty. And we have another one like this in the state of Florida. I don't even know if he's as bad as Cordray. You want to know the truth? He just doesn't know what the hell he's doing. This one does. And he's going to drive your taxes right through the roof. Cordray will destroy Ohio and destroy its miners and its steel workers and everybody else. Mark my words, I hope I don't have to come back, because that means a bad thing happened tomorrow. If you want a safe and prosperous future for Ohio, vote for Mike DeWine. Come on up, Mike. Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, first of all, thank you for being back in Ohio. I am very grateful for your support, and I'm also very grateful, as we all are, for 82 conservative federal judges that are now on the bench. I'm told that there are 30 more coming that will be confirmed in not too distant future. That is an amazing legacy, Mr. President. This race, I need your help tomorrow. This race is about whether we go back or whether we go forward. Richard Cordray and Ted Strickland took us back. 8 years ago, we'd lost over 400,000 jobs. We've regained those jobs today. We've added 150,000 more. And, Mr. President, statistics that came out last week showed that because of good Republican leadership and your tax cut, Ohio had its best year in growing jobs in 21 years. So, my wife Fran and I, John Husted and Tina, we will continue to work until the polls close at 7:30 tomorrow night. Help us get this victory to keep Ohio growing, to keep Ohio moving. Onward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. He's a good man, I just say. That's a good man who loves you, and he's going to take good care. If Democrats gain power on Tuesday, one of their very first projects will be a socialist takeover of American health care. You know that. That's why the countries that have those plans, whenever somebody that has a couple of bucks in their pocket gets sick, they come to the United States to have the operation or to get better. The Democrat plan would obliterate Medicare and eliminate Medicare Advantage for almost 900,000 Ohio seniors who depend on it. Republicans will protect Medicare for our great seniors who earned it and, by the way, who paid for it. They paid for it. And Republicans will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. Always, always. Right? Democrats' plan to destroy health care also includes raiding Medicare to fund benefits for illegal immigrants. How do you like that, Ohio? Good? Does Ohio like that? I don't think so. We know the people of Ohio too well. As we speak, Democrats are openly encouraging millions of illegal aliens to violate our laws and break into our country, and they want to sign them up for free welfare, free health care, free education, and, of course, the right to vote. The right to vote. And it's the right to vote that they like the best. They want them to be able to vote. There is only one way to end this lawless assault on our dignity, our sovereignty, and on our borders, and that's by voting tomorrow Republican. Illegal immigration costs our country more than $100 billion every single year, and that's more than the budget of Ohio, Montana, and Wyoming combined, all places I've been. We have great races in those places. I think you're going to see some very good results. Not only do the Democrats' open border policies drain our treasury, but they endanger every American community and endanger them like you wouldn't believe. Nearly 100% of the heroin coming into the United States enters through the southern border. Along with roughly 90% of cocaine, the majority of meth, and a substantial portion of deadly fentanyl. These drugs kill more than 70,000 Americans a year, destroy hundreds of thousands of lives, and by the way, Ohio knows it better than almost any other state in the union. Last year alone, our brave ICE officers arrested more than 127,000. Think of that. They want to fire them. They don't want ICE. Even Jim Jordan would be afraid of some of these ICE people. Right? Maybe not. No, not. He's not a good example, but maybe. But they're tough and they're strong and they're patriots like him, but they're patriots. So listen to this, 127,000 aliens with criminal records were thrown out last year or put in prison by ICE. Who else is going to do that? Who else? Including those charged or convicted of approximately 48,000 assaults, 12,000 sex crimes, and 1,800 homicides. Other than that, they're very nice people. Very nice people. Other than that, they're very fine people. Hey, by the way, you think we're letting that caravan come into this country? You can forget it. But the Democrats want to abolish ICE. They want America to be a giant sanctuary city for drug dealers, predators, and bloodthirsty MS-13 killers. Republicans believe America should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. Republicans will always stand with the heroes of ICE, Border Patrol, and your great law enforcement, and you really do have great law enforcement in this state. Thank you all. Thank you. This election is about safety, and this election is about prosperity. For years you watched as we let foreign countries plunder our wealth, shutter our factories, and steal our jobs like we're babies, like we're little babies. But those days are over, Ohio. Because as everybody is seeing and as everybody is pointing out, even to them back there, America is respected again. America is respected again. We've added nearly 500,000 manufacturing jobs since the election. Last month alone, we added another 32,000 manufacturing jobs. 1 month. That's 1,000 new manufacturing jobs every single day. And you remember the previous administration, I'm being nice, the previous administration said manufacturing jobs will never come back to this country, right? And I used to say, what does he mean by that one? They're never coming back. He said, you'd need a magic wand. Well, we found the magic wand. I recently announced that we are replacing the horrible NAFTA deal, one of the worst trade deals ever made in the history of the world, with an incredible brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. It's all done. The USMCA is a giant victory for Ohio farmers and factory workers. A giant victory. A giant victory. You're not going to have your companies leaving anymore, firing everybody, moving to Mexico or Canada, sending their product in here tax-free. We end up with empty factories and no jobs. That's not happening anymore. We have taken historic action to bring back American jobs by cracking down on China's very abusive, very unfair trade practices, and we are doing very well, I want to tell you. They want to make a deal, and that could happen. That could happen. You know, we're right now taxing them on $250 billion worth of goods that they're sending to us. They're not happy, but they want to make a deal. Really, it could go much higher. We could add another I won't even say it. You know what? It'll be a big story if I say it. Should I say it? Should I say it? I'm not going to say it. If I say it, it's a big story. If we say it, it's a big story. All right, let's put it this way. It's a lot of money left. A lot. But you know what? I have a great relationship with President Xi of China, and I think we have a real good chance of working something out that's a great deal for us and works for everybody. And if we don't, I'll be honest, I'm extremely happy with our position, extremely. After years of rebuilding other countries, we are finally rebuilding our country, and we are doing it with American steel and American aluminum. Thanks to our tariffs and taxes and trade policies, which are tough, America's steel mills are roaring back to life. You see it. Do you believe it? It's one of the biggest business stories. They don't like to report it, but these are minor details. I'm reporting it, okay? They're roaring back to life. They were dead. The steel industry was very close to being over the cliff dead. It was hanging on by a thread, by a whisker. And they are coming back. It's one of the really great business stories of the year. Because I stopped and I taxed the dumping of garbage steel that they're dumping all over our country, putting our steel mills out of business. And we're going to get the iron ore, and the miners are going to get it from, and it's going to come from places like Minnesota, where they have the finest in the world, and it's going to come down into Ohio and so many other places. Because right here in Ohio, Nucor, great company, big, but steel was going the wrong way, has just announced an $85 million upgrade in Marion. Charter Steel announced a new $150 million steel mill in Cuyahoga Heights. JSW Steel. By the way, you know, this is sort of amazing, because you haven't had an announcement like this in 25 years, 30 years. In some cases, it's brand new. They're not even doing the renovation deal. They're doing brand new. JSW Steel is restarting the furnace and investing $500 million in Mingo Junction. And by the way, this is just what's happening to Ohio. This is going on all over the country. And Cleveland Cliffs announced a new $700 million plant going to start right away in Toledo, Ohio. Toledo. Pretty amazing. Every day it's promises made, promises kept. That's what it is. Promises made, promises kept. You know, I've actually kept more promises than I've made. When did you ever hear that from a politician? Maybe never? Never. It's true. I've done things that we never even talked about on the campaign. Many, many things. We've also taken bold action to reduce the price of prescription drugs. You see what's going on. And Pfizer and Novartis and a lot of the big companies agreed to reduce their prices after I called them up, and they were great. They were great. They reduced their prices. Did you ever hear what president calls a drug company, "I'd like you to reduce your prices, they're too high"? You think Hillary would do that? I don't think so. I don't think so. We have just introduced new affordable health care plans that are really incredible, lower priced than this horrible Obamacare, which we really have decimated and kept your premiums down by doing it. And we got rid of the individual mandate that costs nearly 60%. You have to see this, the individual mandate. How many people are happy that we cut out the individual mandate? The worst part of Obamacare. And we're working very hard. We're going to be the ones that solve the health care. We have already come close to doing it. We passed Veterans' Choice, giving our veterans the right to see a doctor, a private doctor, right down the road, instead of waiting for 2, 3, 4 weeks, instead of waiting for 2 months. What happened was horrible. And now you see a private doctor. We pay for the cost of that private doctor, and our veterans are taken care of immediately. They don't have to wait in line. They've been trying to do that for over 40 years. I thought it was my idea until I went back. I said, I have a great idea. We're going to have private doctors take care of our vets because they can't wait 3, 4, 5 weeks. And my people said, sir, we've been trying to do that for 40 years. I said, you know what? I'm good at getting approvals. Let's go get it. And we got it. We got it. All right? We got it. Our vets are being taken care of first time. They don't have to wait in line. If they see a wait, they go run down to that doctor. You know, it's interesting. We save. It's so unimportant compared to taking care of our vets. But secondarily, we save a lot of money. We save a lot of money because we have vets that go in and they're not badly ill, not badly, it's not a big problem. It takes so long to see a doctor, they end up being terminally ill, and it's a horrible thing. Now they take care of it right away. I love it. And we also passed the VA accountability law to ensure anyone who mistreats our veterans can be held accountable. You're fired. Get out. Get out. We secured $716 billion to fully rebuild the United States military, stronger than it's ever been before. And thanks to our $2 billion investment in new armored vehicle, workers at the legendary tank plant in Lima, Ohio. Where are they? Do you have any of those? They're very happy people. Where are they? Yes. They're very happy. Lima, Ohio, are now back on the job, churning out the best tank anywhere in the world. The M1 Abrams tanks are the best anywhere in the world. Best in the world. At my direction, the Pentagon is now working to create the sixth branch of the American Armed Forces called the Space Force. Very important. And I withdrew the United States from the horrible one-sided Iran nuclear deal. We have recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. And it wasn't supposed to be built, they thought, for 20 years, but I got it built in 3 months, so we saved $1 billion, okay? It's already open. We took a building already located on one of our sites, which we had for nothing. We renovated it, cost $500,000 or less, and we have a beautiful embassy. Supposed to cost $1.1 billion. I think it's better, because the location we have is better than the location we had to buy for a fortune. So anyway, little things. Little things. That's called real estate, right? It's already open. It's already open. Together we have made extraordinary progress, and we are just getting started. This is the greatest political movement in the history of our country, and it's your movement. It's all of us together. It's your movement, not mine. It's your movement. And you got to keep the movement going tomorrow. Because if we don't do reasonably well, you know, we're at a disadvantage, because they say that 2 times in many, many, many years, they had positive results, whoever's in the White House, for whatever reason. But nobody in the White House has ever had the greatest economy in the history of our country. Nobody's had that, right? So it should be different. And look at the people in this room and the thousands that are outside that are watching this on screens. You know, this is happening. Something's going on. I really look forward to seeing it. And there are a couple of honest polls that are showing some very, very good promise tomorrow. So let's see what happens tomorrow. But we have to keep it going. 2 years ago, we shocked the Washington establishment and stunned the world when we defied the pundits and the critics. We rejected them and the failures of the corrupt status quo and elected government that finally we are now doing it. We're putting America first. It's very simple. Putting America first. America first. And every day since, the failed old ruling class have been trying to claw their way back into power. Our political opponents have been on a relentless campaign of obstruction, resisting, demolishing, defaming, and trying to destroy. They're not doing too well. They're not doing too well, and we're not going to let them do too well. These are corrupt people. Tuesday is your chance to send a message to the Democrat mob and to everyone who has made it their mission to denigrate our movement and to divide our great nation. It's not going to happen. Tomorrow, with your votes, you can stop the radical resistance in its tracks. I look forward to seeing what happens, because something is going on. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Right? Look. Something is going on, and they are not happy back there. The media is not happy. They are not happy. They never report this. They don't report these crowds. They don't report this stuff. They never say. They'll say Donald Trump, President Trump, was in Ohio today. He made a speech in front of a few thousand people. You know, right? That's what they say. It's the most unbelievable thing. For years you watched as your leaders apologize for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America. We are standing up for your values. We are standing up for the great state of Ohio, and we are proudly standing up for our national anthem. I am asking every citizen from every party and every background and every race, color, and creed to reject the Democrat politics of anger and division and to unite behind our proud and righteous destiny as Americans. The destiny. I need you to get your family, get your friends, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, and go out and vote Republican. Vote for Jim Bernanke, John Husted, and Mike DeWine. Loyal citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country, returning power to where it belongs, with you, the American people. That's what this is all about. This great state was built by tough frontier men and strong pioneer women who braved the wilderness to build a life and a home with their own two hands. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of luxury, but they all had one thing in common. They loved their families, they loved their country, and they loved their God. Religious liberty. These courageous Americans did not shed their blood, sweat, and tears so that we could sit at home while others tried to erase their legacy, tear down our history, and destroy our proud American heritage. From the farm fields of Ohio to the big sky of Montana, from the deserts of Nevada to the Everglades of Florida, from the coal mines of West Virginia to the steel mills of Indiana, and in every city and town all across our land, we are going to work, we are going to fight, and we are going to win, win, win. We will not bend. We will not break. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never surrender. And we will always fight on to victory. Because we are Americans and our hearts bleed red, white, and blue. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And Ohio, together, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Ohio. Thank you.
And there you have it, folks. The president wrapping up his remarks in Cleveland. That is the first rally, this is, of 3 today. He will be heading now to Fort Wayne, Indiana, for a 6 o'clock rally, and then to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, to close it out at 9 p.m. Central, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. We are so proud to be able to bring these rallies to you. It means a lot. We're following the president everywhere he goes since 2016. Before he was president, we've been following him and bringing his message to the people because the mainstream media won't do it. And it is so important and vital that you see everything here. You see the big crowds and you see this movement unfold because this is something that you don't see on normal mainstream media. And so that is why we are here. That's it. That's why we're here. And you can decide for yourself. So we are honored to bring it to you. I'm going to go to Bailee, Byers, and Max Kleiber live from Cleveland here in just a few moments. But wanted to say really quick, If you like what we do, if you want to see us grow, if you want to see us continue our operations into 2020, upgrade our equipment so that we can, that was loud, so that we can more, compete with the big boys, the same kind of equipment that they have and just continue to get better and better. You can support us at rsbnetwork.com/donate. I think our website is finally working again after it was apparently attacked the other day, and I was up all night configuring our servers and changing hosting providers, and we're all okay now, I think. But there are still some issues with our email server, so if anybody is not receiving thank you messages when you donate, please know that we're working on the issue and hope it will be resolved soon. There goes our great president, Donald J. Trump, working so hard. I want to say this really quick because I always forget. Please listen. Very important. Go on to our website. Our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed already, do. But if you have anybody you know that's on the fence who maybe is not, motivated to vote, please, go to our YouTube channel. We are running a documentary 24 hours a day called Trump at War. It's a documentary by Steve Bannon, and it is running 24 hours a day until tomorrow. So get those family members and friends out to vote. Watch the documentary. It'll be running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on our YouTube channel. And let's go to Bailee now.
Reporting live from Right Side Broadcasting from here in Cleveland, Ohio. You just heard the remarks of the 45th president. He came here for a rally at the IX Center, which holds about 7,500 people. Sorry, guys, bear with me. The music is really loud, so I'm trying to yell. But it was a really awesome rally per usual. I just want to kind of go through some of the key points that he touched on to give you guys a brief recap. Now, when he came out, he slammed the Democrat nominee for the governorship here. His name is Richard Cordray, who's actually part of the Trump administration for a short time. He called him a terrible person, and after that, he actually praised his opponent, who is Mike DeWine, who's running for governor here, and we also heard from him, which was pretty awesome as well. Now, he also touted the economic progress that's been achieved through the White House. He said that other leaders across the world have called it the hottest economic nation, so definitely has gotten praise from around the globe. He also said Republicans are for prosperity, and this is a journey that we made together. This is not something that he has done on his own. He also called the Democrats, he also said the Democrats would halt the economic boom. So like that jobs report that I had mentioned earlier, that said that we had added 250,000 jobs just in the month of October. All of that progress would be halted should the Democrats regain a majority in the House and or the Senate. He also went on to call the Dems a socialist nightmare for our country, especially with Andrew Gillum, who's running in Florida right now. That is a tight race with DeSantis, but he went on to, just clarify that the Democrats are pushing a socialist agenda, which does spell disaster for America going forward should they garner more seats. He also touted the jobs report, like I said. He also said 4.5 jobs have been added since Election Day. He also clarified millions of Americans have been off food stamps since he has taken office, which is also another fantastic accomplishment. He went on to say steel and coal miners are back to work, which is really awesome. He slammed the former administration, like he said, for telling him that wasn't possible, that he needed a magic wand. And then he went on to say that he found that magic wand. He also said there could be another 10% tax cut coming for the middle class. So that obviously garnered a lot of energy in the crowd here today. He said that he would love to do this, but we have to keep the House. So he urged voters to get out there and vote and said it's absolutely pertinent that we continue to keep those seats in both the upper and lower chamber. He went on to talk a lot about border security in these caravans, that are quickly approaching our southern border that are coming throughout Latin America. Also, in regards to that, there are several caravans with hundreds, if not thousands of people in each caravan that are expected to arrive around early December. So definitely something that's on the ballot come tomorrow as well. He said we will build the wall, and it's already started. We poured over $1 billion into that wall, and he intends on appropriating more funds as time goes on. Then we got to hear from Jim Jordan. He came out on stage and the president called him a bulldog who defends him on TV. So that was really awesome. The crowd was ecstatic to see him. He also called him a champ. When Jordan got up on stage, he touted the president's 21-month record of his accomplishments. He talked a lot about the new NAFTA deal. He talked about getting rid of the 2015 nuclear accord with Iran. Essentially, he just touted his leadership overall. He also went on to urge everyone in here to go vote GOP come tomorrow if they have not participated in early voting already. We also heard from Jim Renacci, who is in a tight Senate race here in the Buckeye State, who Renacci touted the jobs report. He went on to tout the economy in general. He praised low unemployment levels. And I might add to that Hispanic unemployment reached a new low than the previous low that was recorded. So that's obviously awesome as well. He ended with, we want Sherrod Brown gone tomorrow. It was really nice to hear him joke. You could tell he got some more energy today. So it was nice to hear from him and see him fired up to be here. Also, we got a really nice surprise from the first daughter. Ivanka Trump made an appearance, and she really touted her father's leadership. She said her father has fought to give Americans a voice, and he really has done that. She went on to tout rising wages, saying the American dream is alive and well. Following that, she said more people are entering the workforce, and she said she wants to keep that going. Now, the president came back on stage following. He touted Mike DeWine, who's running for governor here in the state of Ohio. He was saying how he loves our vets and law enforcement. So that was really nice to hear his thoughts on him as well. When DeWine came out on stage, he touted Republican leadership and the tax cuts that have allowed Americans across the board to go home with bigger paychecks than ever before. He also said there are growing jobs for Ohioans in particular, and there has been a record in the last 21 years. So obviously good news on that front as well. Now, the president, following that announcement, came back on stage. He was talking about how the Democrats compromise national security and they are not for border protections. He was saying how 127,000 illegal aliens with criminal records have been put behind bars by our ICE officials. Now, he went on to say, should Democrats gain control of the upper and or lower chamber, that could be at stake, and we may not have those officials if they try to eradicate that agency altogether. Now, he also went on to talk a little bit about that caravan. Again, like I had mentioned previously, he said those people will not be let in. And then he went on to say this election really is about safety and prosperity. So, going hand in hand between the jobs report and economic progression and, border security in general, which really correlates with our national security overall. He went on to say that we have replaced the NAFTA deal with the U.S. Mexico-Canada trade agreement, which he said is a lot more fair for all countries involved. He also talked a lot about China. He said cracking down on China is necessary to promote free and fair trade across the globe. Currently, we have tariffs on about $250 billion worth of Chinese products, but he said that number could quickly climb. Following that, he had mentioned, I would put a number to that, but it's going to be a huge story. And then he pointed to the media. So he did not clarify what that number could be, but he said there is a lot of leeway for that. He did clarify, however, that he is optimistic moving forward with a deal with Beijing. So hopefully, in the coming weeks, I know he had a phone call with Chinese President Xi Jinping just days ago. So only time will tell, whether they're able to make a trade deal or not and what that will logistically look like. He also said, this is something that really resonated with me, especially wrapping up these midterm rallies. He said he's kept more promises than were made. How many politicians can say that? And I really think that wraps up these 21 months he's been in office very nicely. I believe there's a website, and I can't remember if it's promiseskept.org or promiseskept.com, but this website is pretty fantastic. You can go to it, and essentially it outlines all of the things the president has accomplished, and it outlines what he has promised and then what he has achieved. And there is just a slew of things that a lot of people, don't even realize, and things that have fallen by the wayside and maybe aren't acknowledged as much in the mainstream media. So be sure to take a look at that. It will, definitely give you an inside perspective on all of the efficiency and productivity that he has achieved since he's been in office. He went on to say, you know, this is extraordinary progress, but we're just getting started. And I love how he always says this. He always goes on to say, you know, I didn't do it just me. I needed you guys here, and we did this together as a journey. So he clarified that, you know, this was a group effort, which was also really awesome to hear. He said, he ended with, we have to keep going, so head to the polls tomorrow. So if you haven't done early voting already, if you're in a state that has early voting, then definitely go to the polls to cast your ballot tomorrow, because the stake, the fate of the country really depends on you and your vote. Now, I just want to, if you're just tuning in, my name is Bailee Byers, reporting live with Right Side Broadcasting. We are here in Cleveland, Ohio, following the Make America Great Again rally. And I just wanted, you know, to thank everyone for tuning in. I'm going to pull up this chat in just a minute, especially to those who have donated. You know, you might be wondering with midterms. Hi. I'm just waving hi to some supporters right now. This makes it so awesome. You know, everyone. Some people come up to us and say, "Oh, you know, I recognize you, RSBN. You guys are awesome, and you guys really, really make it worthwhile." So thank you. It really means the world to us, especially on a week where we're stretched very thin and working very hard. So thank you guys. We really appreciate and love you. We love you too. You guys are awesome. You really are rock stars. But thank you guys again if you have donated. If you're interested in donating, they're holding up a sign, Jobs versus Mobs, and the president mentioned that as well during his speech. But anyway, so yeah, we're really, really excited to have you guys here. If you're new watching us, keep it here all day. If you're loyal viewers, keep it here all day. We will have live coverage of the next two rallies that are, yes, in the same day. They are both, the next two rallies are today. So not tomorrow. We have Fort Wayne in a couple of hours. Then we have Cape Girardeau at 9 p.m. So we're really excited to bring you those live. So again, thank you guys. If you've donated, if you want to donate, we appreciate that. Your support is what this company runs on. So Max, do you want me to wrap? Oh, okay. So yeah, again, I just want to thank you guys. It really, you know, you might be wondering, you know, with midterms tomorrow, what is this money being used for? Well, I'm glad you were wondering. So this is actually a really critical time for RSBN. Right now, you know, with midterm rallies wrapping up, we are aiming to, you know, really bolster our resources so that we can get out there on the 2020 campaign trail when that begins, probably between spring and fall of next year. So we want to make sure we have those resources, and like I said, we can't do it without you guys. We really appreciate and love you. I'm just waiting for this chat to load. Bear with me. Also, I want to thank, what'd you say? Oh, okay. Also, I want to thank some of our partners who include, but are not limited to, the Donald on Reddit, Diamond and Silk, Patriot Soapbox, and all the others. You guys are rock stars. Also, our moderators, who honestly don't get enough credit. You know, they do a lot of behind the scenes work of making sure our chat is clean and family friendly, and thank you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. Like I said, I'm just checking the chat right now. It's loading. And if you're just tuning in, my name is Bailee Byers, reporting live from Right Side Broadcasting. We are here in Cleveland, Ohio, for the first rally just concluded, the MAGA rally of the first one out of a series of 3 in one day. Oh, we also have a donation from Richard Simpkins for $50. Thank you so much, Richard. We appreciate that. Harold Norris said, I'm so impressed with Bailee Byers on air. She has good and accurate reporters during her recap. Thank you so much. Also, if you're wondering, so I'm just going through the chat right now. Most people are filing out. As you can see, there's not many people left. But like I said, keep it right here all day. We're going to have the latest coverage, live coverage of everything between Fort Wayne, Indiana, and then Cape Girardeau at 9 p.m. Liz and cameraman will be at that one, and I believe Aaron's going to be at the Fort Wayne rally, so we're really excited about that. Also, shout out to Tree Climbing. They donated $1.99 saying Bailee rocks. Thank you so much. I'm just looking through the chat here. But yeah, the president talked a lot about things that, you know, he normally does talk about the economy, but things like the economy are really going to come into play tomorrow for voters. You know, people typically do vote with their wallets. And, you know, this jobs report has just shown that there is no ceiling for what this president can achieve economically, fiscally, financially, and this nation really is headed in the right direction. So we're excited about that. Also, shout out to Crypto Chiser for their $9.99 donation. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And yeah, as you can see, most people are filing out. There's just a couple people left. It really was an incredible rally. I am still shocked that, tomorrow is the day. It's a really bittersweet day for us because we are headed home after this, but it's our last midterm rally. So we're sad, but we're really excited. We gave it our all, and we're just hoping everyone turns out, for voting tomorrow. If you, like I said, if you are in a state that doesn't allow early voting, then definitely get to the polls tomorrow. Also, shout out to Matt Feemster for their $10 donation. Thank you so much. Am I throwing it back to Joe? Oh, okay. And I think I'm going to wrap up here in just a moment, but if you guys have any other questions or anything you want me to address, feel free to put that in the chat, and I will do that. But if not, looks like I'm just checking through the chat right now. Like I said, he spoke for about an hour, but anyway, I just want to thank all of you guys for tuning in today. Like I said, keep it right here all day. Am I throwing it back to him, Max? Okay. Keep it here all day. We're going to have live coverage of the Fort Wayne, Indiana rally with our cameraman, Aaron. And then following that, we're going to have live coverage of Cape Girardeau, Missouri with Liz and cameraman. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, for your donations, your support from Right Side Broadcasting. I'm Bailee Byers. God bless and good night.
To start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today. 'Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I